everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives. Tonight we're going to be playing Icons. Our friend John McMullen is going to be GMing for us. He's over there in the black refusing to show his face, so I'll just skip on asking him to wave. But please say hello.
Hello, John.
Okay.
Good evening.
I'm Alice Peng, aka La Twiddle on the boards. Brandon up in the corner there is my co-host, Brandon Powers.
Howdy, howdy.
Our friends Nick Garber.
Salutations.
CEO of Apogee Comics, by the way. And Norbert Franz.
I'm here. Hello.
Norbert Franz happens to be the man behind one of the men behind Cartoon Action Hour, amongst a few other things. But yeah, let's get started.
All right. We have a group of people. I don't think we discussed this beforehand. Do you want to be loosely affiliated as a supergroup?
Sure.
Or do you want to all come into this in your own ways?
Well, loosely affiliated always works.
Yeah, I'm
It's
good
much
with that.
faster.
For a one-shot, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then for a one-shot, you are loosely affiliated as the invented dancing term for a group of people.
A troop.
You are the troop.
Yep.
All right.
Since we do know each other, why don't we each go around and just talk about what we bring to the superhero team, so therefore we have an idea. My character's name is Jinx. I am able to see the future, and because of that, I'm able to predict things. I can sense danger coming. I can kind of pull on the strings of fate and bring about bad luck. I also, because I can see where people will look, I can know where they will not look, and because of that, I can find invisibility in the threads of fate, as well as provide protection for myself and those who hide behind me with a force field. That's pretty much what I've got. A little bit of medicine and a little bit of stealth.
What about your character's physical description, Brandon?
Physical description, kind of a beat down 30-year-old. Look like they've done some hard living at times. Stubble growing around the face, never gets in that clean shave. Shows up with this with a costume that has it's a black costume, and then there's a couple threads basically of this white silvery material that kind of move around on the costume. They don't actively move. It's just that they aren't common as it's drawn through, and those are the threads of fate, that representation on it.
Nick, why don't you go for it?
Okay, my character's name is Siafu. He has the ability to shrink. He stands about 6 feet tall. He's about 190 pounds. He is of African descent. Actually, he's African in nationality as well. He has a light orange and darker orange color to his costume. And he has a headset that looks like the mandibles of a army ant.
Okay.
And he is driven by duty and guilt.
Norbert?
Oh, sure. By the way, I was going to say these earbuds are not doing anything for me because I'm still getting the sound through the main speaker in front of me.
Sure.
So the sound is not here.
As long as we're not getting the reverb, you're fine.
Yeah.
When we start getting the reverb, we'll deal with it.
It's easier to just take them out.
Yep.
You're fine. You may have problems.
Go for it. What is that? Your character?
No problems with the audio. So this character is all new, and like I said, this is really just from the random rolls, and I try to make up a story afterwards.
I think that's what we're all in.
Yep, we're all doing random characters.
So this is a guy that gonna have to make up an actual name.
Do you need
Tom
a few
something?
minutes?
Right?
I
Yeah.
thought you
No,
had
it's
it.
okay. It's okay.
Aaron, I thought.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. He's the sneaky mariner on account of his possession of a few items from a now abandoned a Coast Guard Special Operatives program. So he used to be Coast Guard, and he's sort of maritime themed and trained as a seaman, but didn't
What
actually
are your
make
superpowers?
it. The superpowers are equipment based, so he's a regular guy using a few items, gadgets, but he didn't build those gadgets. He's not, in fact, the inventor.
Awesome.
But,
what do they do?
They do well. They at one point in the program, they gave me this experimental harness, which just looks like a lot of belt stuff all across my upper body, and there are various pieces of nondescript metal and aluminum and other things attached to it in a bit of a random fashion, and this creates basically a force field aura. This is your typical damaging aura in icons. So I could basically stand in place, and then I have this thing. Basically, well, once you touch it, it gives you a shock or some kind of damage.
So you've got a damage aura on
it.
Okay, cool.
You've got damage aura on. What else?
It's an aura. Now, I figured as an additional effect, this harness sometimes allows me to sort of gently glide, or gives me like super speed across the land or across the beach. I was also thinking super swimming, but I didn't actually roll that. So the other powers are super senses. So I added like enhanced vision, X-ray vision, and a few more. As you can see on the character sheet, most of them are vision. And I was thinking a kind of radar or sonar that I also get under Super Senses 5. And they are due to some neural enhancers that are also part of this the suit, this harness I'm wearing. And they basically go from the neck part, that there are a few cables and things that are kind of stuck to my skin. And as long as I'm wearing that, I can access the super senses.
So you've got super senses and you've got a damage protecting force field. That sounds great. Do you have any other superpowers?
Well, I've got skills. I've got skills from my maritime training, and I'm also very stealthy. I can.
Hence why you're the sneaky mariner.
Yep.
Yes.
So no more powers. Okay.
Right. No more powers. Yeah, and that also gives me, I think, 4 determination.
Okay.
4 determination points, because it's 6 minus 2 powers, and none of my attributes go to a 7.
Thank you very much, Norbert.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I am playing the artist, is her moniker. Her other name is Xiangcun. She is a Chinese classically trained dancer, meaning the acrobatic style of dance. It is very physically grueling. During a performance, during her first role as prima donna, she ended up manifesting superpowers. And later on, she went on a journey of self-discovery to find that she had the spirit or some sort of imbuement of birthright that tied her to the vermilion bird. For those of you who don't know what a vermilion bird is, it is basically a predecessor of sorts to the western phoenix. It is a red bird of fire. She is able to manifest spinning. I spin very, very quickly and can do a variety of things with that, between damage and other things. I can create images around me. I can also sense emotion. Since the art of dance and the art in general evokes emotion, I can sense emotion. The last thing that I'm capable of doing is, if you give me any any classical melee Chinese weapon, a rope dart, a jianzi, a classic sword, broadswords, I am able to use them. So, as for my costume, I am wearing what a dancer of that style would wear. I have sleeves that are about 2 feet longer than than where would cover my hands. So they're very long sleeves. I have a very flowing robe of dress that as I move, it'll flow up and side, and it is all in reds and yellows, making it look like a bird. My hair is down to one side with adornment of red and yellow feathers in the hair. And I am the artist. Go for it, John. Back to you.
Excellent. Well, let's start. with 3 months earlier. Or we'll skip ahead 3 months. I don't care which way we go. You start off, you are just getting back from the headquarters after a long day of foiling many small things, right? It's been
foiling many small things like chipmunks and squirrels and snails.
Some of them. Also,
corner store
managed
robberies.
To spoil. Convenience store robberies, muggings, and some kid who thought it was a good idea to chase his sister's cat up a tree. I don't know. And it's just sort of been a long, long day, and down the block from your headquarters, you hear alarms going off.
Okay.
Anyone care to check?
I would definitely check.
By all means, I want to see if I can look forward to see what we're going to find when we get there, even as we're on our way.
You have a brief glimpse of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Well, I'm spitting there quickly.
All right.
I will just say, I feel a great disturbance in the thread of the weave, as if thousands of voices have suddenly cried out, and we're left with cartoons.
Patrick! Exactly how it goes. And as you spin up, Madam Artist, the artist, you see a guy who clearly has not left his parents' basement through much of his adolescence. He is wearing what looks like a robe made out of a shower curtain with some stars and planets appliqued on. He has a hat of a similar sort of juncture. His cape is unusual. It moves against the wind, billowing about him almost to protect him. And he has in his hands a wand, something that you might find at a toy store.
Okay.
And he has already broken the window to World O Comics, sellers of fine apogee wares, and they
seller of fine apogee wares. That's awesome.
Hell yeah! Get that swag.
And yeah, like I'm gonna get it, they get it all. And he seems to be ranting about something. Do you want to just take a moment to hear the kinds of things he's saying?
Yes.
When my dog is making a noise?
And this is the 3 months earlier prequel, right?
This is the 3 month earlier prequel.
We definitely should be listening. I'll take a couple seconds to listen to his rant.
All right. He is saying, "Tremble in terror as the mystic overlord is in your presence, you losers! If you don't meet my demands, I will send this, whoops, he grabs a guy who is, an older balding guy. You know him as the proprietor of the shop. And he's wearing suspenders. Frankly, if he knew anything about computers, he'd look like a Unix user. And he goes, "Oh, God." One more time, because I know you're all stressed out from my blinding power. Okay? I want John Romita Jr. and Sr. to sign this. All right? This is Amazing Fantasy 15, duplicated because I couldn't get the real one. But and then I want him to apologize for drawing the death of Gwen Stacy, and I want $1 million, and I want a Michael Dorn.
I'm going to just say to my group, I've heard the rest of this, and it doesn't go anywhere. So do we want to step in at some point?
I interrupted the guy at that point, and I start spinning towards him. This whirlwind of basically cloth just starts coming at him.
All right.
You're probably the fastest of us.
I look at the group and like, what is Amazing Fantasy 15? What is he talking about?
What was it all?
All right.
He's addressing his ever-present and eternal virginity.
Oh, 好可惜啊.
Excellent. And you see over there, in one side is a police officer who was trying to talk to this guy, but he sees you're here and he's willing. Boy, he is so willing to let you guys do it, because if you've had a bad day, apparently he also thinks he has had a bad day. So, the guys there, you are going to use your spinning to go up and attempt to, I don't know, catch his robe.
Disarm him of his victim. So so spinning can be used to grapple. Why am I rolling 2d20s? The wrong dice. Spinning can be used to grapple, so I will do that. I call these, by the way, watermelon dice. Whenever I have a red die and a green die, I try and set them up together. Watermelon meaning green is always first.
All right. Jinx gets actually some kind of premonition of power from the wand.
Okay. I got a +3 total.
All right. So you got your prowess +3. My
prowess is an 8.
Yeah. So an 11 versus his total of 3. You get the impression he is not. Perhaps he did not have a Bowflex down there with him in his parents' basement. The dogs liked it. Okay.
Catch the guy.
This time it's not my dogs.
Our dogs are obsessed with anything that moves on our street, and since we have a bay window, they often see something moving on our street, even when there isn't anything there. And I would shut a door if we had doors.
I catch the guy and let him down gently. Catch the comic store owner and let him down gently, interposing myself between the guy and the owner.
All right, you manage. He manages to absorb some of that, so he isn't actually totally knocked out. Okay. But he is seriously knocked back, and now you are the target of his totally ineffectual wrath.
Can I use my probability control for bad luck
yes.
to try and get the wand to drop away from him in the encounter the two of them are having?
Let's see here. Sure, you can. It costs you 1. Essentially, your probability control gives you a separate pool of determination points that you can use to create trouble for him. I think we're going to say that this particular bad luck is his hands are sweaty, and the sudden appearance of the artist makes him lose his grip, and his wand slides down the sleeve of his raised arm.
Perhaps he is just so in shock of seeing an actual, real-life breathing girl.
I think he has seen them because, they have video on the internet now.
But not in person, which apparently is the shock factor for some.
Oh, okay. Like, people actually have odors and stuff.
Yep.
Sure. Okay. You've disarmed him for the length of time it will take him to get his wand out of his sleeve, which from his lack of grace could be 2 panels. And Siafu, what would you like to do?
Well, he's already taken down. Yes.
No, he's just barely conscious, but he's staggered back. He's managed to catch himself. He has not plunged through the storefront window.
Okay, one of my powers is gadgets. Now, is that anything I can think of as far as gadgetry?
Anything you can think of, but it takes you a turn to create it. So you have a whole bunch of, the standard ideas. You have a whole bunch of parts you can put together. A chronosync plastic infundibulator in a turn or two, but it takes you a turn.
Okay. I'm going to create a swarm of mini drones that can. What's the word I'm looking for?
Fill his lungs up.
Fill his lungs up. No, just contain him and incapacitate him.
All right. What's your intellect?
My intellect is a 3.
All right. Roll.
What type of dice am I rolling?
D6.
A D6. All right.
A D6. Okay, so we're doing the positives and you're doing the negatives.
Exactly.
2D6.
Okay, cool.
All right, I rolled an 8.
All right, so you rolled 2 dice. Okay, just roll 1. Pick one of the numbers.
5. I will pick the
5. 5 plus 3. That's an.
Yep, he's going to roll the negative for us, and you just need to roll the positive.
Oh, okay. So I gotta roll 1.
You just got to roll 1. I mean, put 2, but tell me which was the real one, because I know that sometimes dice don't roll really well unless they have friends. So,
bloody system.
You say, oh, yes, of course, I just have to do this and this and this, and it will be available. You just have to type the last commands in, and as of next turn, you will have a containment device that will not only hold him in place, but will carry him over holes in the ground. Mariner.
Perfect.
Okay, I just had a look at aura, by the way. Now, this type of aura does not actually create a protective field. It's only damaging to the other guy. So I know I'm not really shielded. So unless I stunt it at some point. I am going to... Okay, I want to remain on the ground floor level, on the street level. For the moment, and you know what? I'm going to use my super senses first, my supervision, because my idea is that one of my super senses might tell me how this guy is creating his major powers, or whether he's using machinery or a specific item on him, maybe what his thing is. So could I use awareness plus the 2 perhaps from enhanced vision?
And the D6, yep.
And the D6, okay. Okay, I have a 6 on the die, and this would be 14 right there.
You know so much about him. You know the last time he shaved. You know whether or not he has any gadget. You can see the safety pins holding his robe together. You and they don't match, so they didn't all come out of the same box. There does not seem to be anything fancier than a cell phone. He has a cell phone sticking out of his pocket, and he has a set of pens, varying thicknesses, 0.3 millimeters, 0.3 millimeters, 0.5, and 0.8. I have a dog. Excuse me.
John, we didn't have this problem when you played with us before, as I remember.
For viewers out there, you will now see Siafu's character portrait on the overlay, right over Nick. Nick drew that this morning, like he was commenting.
Wow.
Right near Nick. So
I've been known to make jewelries.
Yep. And for those of you in Discord who don't see what viewers see, you guys can scroll up a little bit and see it. But yeah, Nick drew that in about an hour and a half from scratch. I say that
Nick,
because
you might want to make a job out of that.
It's like he
I'm
draws
trying,
comic
bro.
books or something for a living.
It's almost like I have a comic publishing company. It's weird.
So, welcome back,
Okay.
John.
Shameless plug. Back to game.
Thank you.
Now that I've hijacked it for shameless
for it.
plugging.
Go for it,
That's
John.
okay. All right. Yes, he has nothing more sophisticated than, well, cell phones are plenty sophisticated, but you can buy them in any stores. And he has pens you can buy in any store. He's got a messenger bag, and it has a drawing pad sticking out of it. That's about as high tech as he seems to be.
I'll just store that information for the moment.
All right.
Okay. Can I do something extra before we move to the next turn? Because I just want to talk.
You've just looked down.
So we're probably all in shouting distance. I'll say, I haven't spotted any unusual equipment. No gadgetry, no power armor. Okay. Could those of you with the more attack sort of powers keep him in check, and I'll try to go around the back and climb on top of the roof.
I am waiting for my drones to power up before I attack him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Top of the next round. We'll just go in the same order because, frankly, the guy is a cream puff. What would you like to do, artist?
Artist at that point will.
You have the store owner, Sam.
Yep. Between, so I'm staying between the.
You're between.
And that, and at that point, I will start spinning my way into this this crazy basement dweller, and my long sleeves, start to wrap around him. Images will appear around him of comic books, and a thought bubble will start appearing over my head and appear above my group's head. I'm actually using spinning, but my images will pop when I'm spinning, so without using the power. But he literally sees thought bubbles from each of my party members insulting him, saying, saying things like, that guy doesn't know how to dress, or stuff like that. And I am just going to spin my way into him. You said 1. I rolled a 3. I am engaging in a grapple.
Oddly enough, he does not seem to be resisting as much as you would think an elderly lady with a walker would resist. Okay. So, and he manages to murmur, Rob Liefeld, but he's a hack, and fall down.
Okay.
And thus ends your encounter with the Mystic Overlord. You hand him over to the police, you go off, you get Dairy Queen, whatever you do. And everything seems to be fine. And then 3 months pass.
Okay.
And you get a phone call on your relatively secure line. And it is the local organization. I was going to make up a new name for it, but the heck with it.
They're
Patriot.
ACLU.
It's the organization that deals with superhumans.
Okay.
And they would like to ask you some questions about the Mystic Overlord.
English not so good. Otherwise, yes.
All right. Have we done this before?
You know them. They have a reasonable presence in the hitherto unnamed city of Port Hope, and so here in Port Hope, there's there's the Four of You, which is more than enough superhumans, but supervillains show up all the time. So Patriot has a reasonably large base, and because it has 6 locals, or 4 local heroes, they also maintain their research facility here.
Okay. So as a quick note to my party members and to John, my character's English is actually very, very good. It's just that she has the standard person, when they speak a foreign language and have an accent, they're very self-conscious of that accent, making them feel that like they suck. So oftentimes when I talk to you guys, I literally speak in Chinese, but I will have thought bubbles that you guys can literally see coming off stuff, or like words coming off of items, translating it directly for you guys. So I have a universal translator that translates Chinese to English automatically for you guys.
This is so cool, and this is what we see and what the reader sees in the comic book.
Yes, so you guys will literally see the words coming off in English as I'm speaking in Chinese.
The poor letterer. Okay. How do you want to... they would like you to get down as soon as possible. How do you want to get down? I mean, really, it's not important how you get down, but tell me.
I'm already there waiting, having seen this coming.
We drive?
Of course.
Drive? Yes.
And precogs.
Telling him, I drive there soon.
All right. Mariner, you can certainly take everyone down. Actually, all of you have high enough coordination. I assume you know how to drive, but we'll let you do it because you have the skill.
小心上次你撞了我。
I'm the driver. Maybe when the resource situation looks better, then we can build ourselves a tidal mobile or something.
Well,
but this is just a pretty regular car. Should I roll for it? Is there anything dangerous?
No. We're just driving down. If you would like it to be better, I think one of those amphibious jeeps that they use in the tourist areas to do tours of, and this is the sandbank off the shore of Port Hope, which
a Jeep Yukon.
So,
very nice.
With what I just said, he sees on the windshield as he's getting into the driver's seat, please be careful. Last time you were driving, you hit me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said in Chinese. Careful. Last time you drove, you hit me.
Excellent. Yeah. I see that there's already party strife.
This time I'm sitting in the car, so hopefully I won't get hit.
All right.
Yeah. That's a quality that I sometimes destroy vehicles. Sometimes the ones I'm in, sometimes others.
Okay. Jinx is already standing there with the head of their Mystic R&E division, an archaeologist. The game actually has him called Brandon, but I think we'll say Charles. Charles Beaufort, after the wind scale. And
I'm looking at my watch and I say, and now they should be arriving as they're coming in.
They come in. They are used to this from you. Beaufort is not. And he's... a muscle in his face jumps. Because this is the kind of thing that really annoys him about precogs. So, now, did you see... he doesn't even wait for introductions. Did you see anything that indicated you that Wolowitz, that was his name, Wolowitz, was acting in concert with others?
nothing that I saw even showed the capability that the individual would be able to work as part of a community, taking on certain social standards, such as even bathing.
Oh, he stinks.
Well, he seemed to have brought all of his items from home, and those were just commonly available things that he had on his person.
Yes, we had
pens, cell phone, right? And yeah, you said something about his self-made costume with safety pins.
Yes,
Do we have a table here where we're being interviewed? And we're being interviewed as a group, right? So is this like a conference room?
Yeah, you're actually walking down the hall towards because Beaufort doesn't even wait for you. He just starts walking and keeps talking. He's kind of brusque that way, and he says, "All right, 3 hours ago, we had him in a cell because there were residual. We call them manons. It's a joke. Manions. The elements of magic, particles of magic that were given off by his wand, by his cape, and we were still holding him because, well, frankly, where did they come from? What magical things did he have? And at midnight last night, he disappeared.
On the conference table that we're sitting at and talking, I start replaying for him in 3D image what the encounter we had was, and instead of the sound reproduced, I reproduced the words in voice talk bubbles and thought bubbles over the image, but it's this 3D image on top of the conference table of the guy and and me spinning in and him screaming all these things and
does that include the time where he said "kiss me, my love" and you write that out?
Nope.
By the way, I totally nominate Alice on determination point. I think that's fantabulous.
Sure, she can have an extra determination.
Thank you. So,
all right,
and I point at him and say, "Alone."
All right, then why did he disappear? Where did he go? You were the last people the last super people to have contact with him, with the exception of our team, and they've been vetted. What did you see that would lead us to understand?
对不起，我不懂。你是说我们做的吗？In voice bubble, you see, I'm sorry, are you accusing us?
I'm not, but we have an area that is supposed to be defensible, right? It is supposed to be protected.
It does seem indefensible if he was able to get out. There was clearly no defense on it.
Apparently, it's like inflammable. The "in" means nothing.
Yes, and if so strong as you say, how do you say, our friend, how did Jinx know if this place so special, so locked? Jinx knew be here, and Jinx not tell us.
Right. Jinx, do you want to just roll your danger sense there?
Sure.
Awareness plus, which is higher? Your awareness.
The awareness is higher, so it's awareness +1.
Okay.
So I have a 12 on my danger sense.
Excellent. Another cartoon comes to mind. This is the fabulous Giant Green Gorilla Hour.
Great.
And someone else comes in and goes, "Sir, we have a situation.
Does it involve a gorilla? Green, large.
A giant green gorilla is smashing a police station.
And you do understand, if you had not called us here to deal with your bureaucracy, that is where we would be right now.
I, at this point, generate this red tape all around the room. I do this red tape all around a bunch of us in image.
All right. Certainly, you can generate that. He goes, all right.
Are we free to go?
Of course.
What is with this country? Every 5 minutes, there's some kind of crazy, catastrophic event. Giant gorillas, floating men shouting nonsense about Kirby or whatever.
Of course, I will send one of my top field agents to watch. And a 6-year-old girl walks in with a chihuahua in a handbag.
Okay.
What? Is she a field agent?
Yes.
Or was that? Oh, so it's not bring your child to work day.
No. This is a spirit of chaos. Unfortunately, embodied as a 6-year-old girl.
I create a picture. I create an image of binocular goggles on the dog, and so the dog suddenly has binocular goggles strapped on as we're leaving.
And the dog says, "Hey, quit it! You ugly sack of water." Oh, don't mind me, Emperor Bone.
I create an image of a dog bone in my hand and toss it behind me. Hopefully he'll go fetch.
I am not a dog. I am Was that Ham? Because...
Yes,
and
it was Ham.
He tries to get out of the purse, but the girl holds him in.
Okay. Can't resist Ham.
As I left already, knowing exactly what was going to play out here, and as you whirl your way up, and I'm like, didn't work as well as you wanted it to, did it?
Who are you saying it to?
To the artist, the one who whirls.
Oh, okay. Yes.
No.
So is Norbert able to fly us places? Or does he do damage as he flies us places?
Only if I use a stun tear with that power. No, but yes, that would basically be creating the passengers extra.
I wouldn't even bother. I'd use one of their helicopters.
Yeah.
And Patriot has helicopters. They will loan them to you. They don't want to, but they will. It's the easiest way to let their field agent go with you.
It's more or less the same speed.
Okay. You're in a helicopter circling around. There is a 20-foot tall green gorilla. Smashing, wearing, of course, a flat sort of hat and a vest and a bow tie, and smashing a police car with another police car, and shouting, "Green gorilla! Green gorilla!" Feel free.
师傅刚刚才说的有大猴子 Huh. And you see the thought bubble going up. Didn't our friend Siafu just tell us about the gorilla and the bow tie? Maybe he's now psychic.
I don't know. I was just making stuff up. It was so absurd. I didn't think it'd actually be real.
I said that when we were interrupted on the meeting.
I thought you. He said, "What is okay?" He said, "What is up with a
What's wrong with the country?
Yeah, what's wrong with the country? These gorillas and bow ties and such." So sorry. Okay.
And the little girl who has a lisp says, "Do you really want to know? Because I've got a list. What's wrong with the country?" So.
It's overrun by supervillains.
And the dog goes, "I want the bone. Please give me the bone." Anyway, what are you going to do with the giant gorilla?
So here's a careful estimate. If this were a video game, this will certainly be level 2 or level 3, because it's bigger and more destructive than the last one.
Yes.
I'm going to detect emotion actually on the gorilla, in the tuxedo bow tie bit, because I want to see if it's actually anger, or if anger and rage, or if there's some sort of desperation. What kind of emotions are driving him right now?
She wants the method approach. What's my motivation as a gorilla rampaging in the city?
Right. Well,
very Hulk Infinity War.
Calm down, Christopher Walken.
Shh.
So,
your motivation is this: rampage.
More cowbell.
More cowbell. I got the fever, baby.
Yeah. I want to see if there's an easier way to calm this thing. So I'm gonna detect emotion.
He does not. He actually enjoys. He's not mad at all. He likes breaking things.
Oh, so he's playing in his mind. Okay.
In his mind, well, he may have other motives, but this is a fun thing for him to do.
Okay.
And various policemen are shooting at him, and the bullets are bouncing off.
Okay. So I point at my. I raise my arm a little bit and move my arm as my arm is moving. My sleeve just kind of points up and creates an exclamation mark over my head momentarily, before I bring my arm down. And my speech bubble says, "He's playing some sort of game. 他在玩游戏." So, at that point, I think it's time to give him a game to play. I am going to start creating. So what does he seem to feel like he gets the most enjoyment out of breaking right now? What out of the stuff he sees?
Right now, he is enjoying turning cars into pancakes.
Okay.
You can see from the damage to the wall that he's also taken a couple of hefty swings at the wall of the building. So it's probably not safe to be, under it. And there is a broken lamppost nearby, or a street light nearby.
Is there an area that's relatively clear of danger that we could move him to nearby?
Aside from the fact that it's full of cars, there is a parking lot.
Okay. I am going to actually start creating images of targets that seem like, based on the emotions I'm getting, are things he'd want to go after. So if he likes bigger trucks, I'm going to create an image of a bigger truck. I'm just going to basically play carrot and stick with him, just keep it just out of range. And I'm going to occasionally let him feel like he's smacking into it by overlaying it over another car or something, and let him smash it, and basically be using these images that I'm creating to lead him away into that parking lot. So that
Are you creating a banana van?
Yes, I'm creating a banana van. I rolled a 4 on the positive.
We're in a helicopter, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have an idea of how to
go for it.
Coincide with the artist over here.
Sure.
I would like to shrink down to 1/64th. 1/64th of my size, enter his inner ear, and play with his equilibrium until he gets nauseous and falls over.
Oh, that's lovely. Take a determination point, because I think that's a lovely idea.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to shrink down. You're going to have to get to his ear, but I'm sure you'll be able to manage that with enough thought.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What do I roll for this? Oh, it's Jinx's turn. Never mind.
Yeah, you don't have to roll anything for it. You have shrunk down, And as usual, you shrink down and you're thinking, how do I travel when I'm this size? Yeah. Jakes?
I am going to go invisible, and I want to actually stealth up, and I want to watch this dog and girl.
Okay, they're in the helicopter with you.
Awesome. Then I'm just like, I'll be back later. And I invisibility out, and I'm going to stealth on the helicopter.
Okay, so let me see. At no point did I say that the helicopter had landed, but
Nope.
Is the assumption that it did land?
I haven't assumed
Or okay.
I didn't think it had.
Sure. All right. Just wanted to be clear. Okay, you're all in the helicopters. You have, of course, one of the big sliding side doors in case you have to suddenly jump out. It's there for you to leave if you need to. Mariner is piloting and doing a fine job right up to the point where the gorilla decides to swing at the helicopter, but that time has not yet come. So,
Also, I have a quick question. Is there a wolf man and a giant lizard that's also doing this?
you do not see a wolf man and giant lizard.
Okay.
Does that mean there isn't one? No, but you don't see one.
As the story progressed. Tune in,
I cannot see half of my team because they've all used shrinking and invisibility, and with the artist, I'm never sure because she's spinning so fast, and sometimes she might be outside my field of vision.
He spins in the opposite direction of the helicopter rotors. Anyway.
Right. So it's my time to get out? Before
your turn to decide what to do.
Well, you could land before you get out. Since you're piloting us, that might be awesome.
If you want to land, that's great. I can't fly. I can look
like I can fly, but it's only for a certain duration until the land grounds me.
Well, since I'm lighter than air at this point, shrunk down, I could probably halo into the gorilla's ear if I need to.
Mm-hmm. Yes, probably. So, I'm still steering this helicopter. Didn't you say he was going to take a swing at the helicopter?
He probably will, but it's not his turn yet.
Good. Okay. So I'm getting ready to land. If possible, then I'll land this thing, in the parking lot.
Okay. I'll assume by the edge of the parking lot.
Yes.
Okay. So you find a clear spot. You set her down. Again, I don't think that calls for a skill roll. You can just do it. And he throws a car at the helicopter. Helicopter is big. The car is big. His coordination is not that great, but he manages to take the rotors up. So you in the helicopter feel it shudder as the top comes off. But you're safely on the ground. You skid over from the impact and relatively it rocks a bit and then settles back on its skid.
Ayo, and you see a thought bubble. And we're in another crash.
But it wasn't his fault. Artist.
Well, at this point, I'm on the ground with so I will jump out and I will continue to. You said that his equilibrium is faulty from Siafu. Is he actually unconscious, or is he just basically stumbling?
No, his equilibrium isn't faulty yet. Siafu has a great plan.
Okay.
He hasn't done it yet.
Oh.
Okay. He'll do it as soon as he reaches the gorilla, which should probably be this panel.
Do we have comms, by the way?
Of course you do. You are a superhero team.
Great. Siafu, did you communicate your plan with us?
Troop. The Troop.
The troop. I like it.
We are troopers.
Siafu,
Super
did you
troopers.
communicate your plan with me or with us?
I'm
If
sorry,
not,
say
that's
that
fine.
again?
Did you communicate your plan with us? If not, that's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
I communicated that I was going to shrink down and get inside his inner ear and disrupt his orientation and equilibrium to where he feels nauseous and incapacitated.
Great. So I'm going to continue to guide this gorilla with the plan that I had before. And this time, though, I'm going to try and make sure that I am moving him in a little bit slower fashion to make it a little bit easier for my friend to jump in his ear, and aiming him so that the direction of his ear is closer to the helicopter and therefore easier for him to interact. So,
Okay.
but I'm going to continue that same plan. Would you like me to roll it again, or was the 4 on my die roll before plus my prowess good enough? 12.
He is not a smart gorilla.
Okay, so I will just
It's
keep going
fine.
with that same plan and just basically playing carrot on a stick, maneuvering it so to give Siafu options.
All right. Siafu, I know you want to get to his ear. How are you going to do it? Is Mario going to throw you?
I would need Artis to spin around really fast as I hop onto her hand, and I will jump off at the opportune point to give me enough momentum to reach the gorilla.
Good plan. All right.
Hold up, and you see, will do.
All right, Jinx.
I want to concentrate on this chaos individual that we've got traveling with us.
Right.
Just try and precog danger sense on them, and basically whether we should be trusting and working with them, or if the problems might be coming from them. Because being told that they're an agent of chaos and what we're seeing, they kind of go together.
Right. She's a small African-American girl with a lisp, and one bandit, half on her elbow. Unfortunately, is not one of the properly colored band-aids, so it is incredibly obvious. And she is wearing overalls and no top.
Okay. And just like I said, precog with danger sense and such, and look into the future to see if she's a trouble causer for us or not.
You see a device that kind of looks like an electroscope, but using baseball cards.
But I don't get anything with her.
No.
Okay.
All right. Mariner, you have hopped onto Siafu has hopped onto Whirlwind, the artist's shoulder.
And I'm spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'm going to launch him off like a little, like
All
one
right.
of those little toys.
Why don't you give me a
spinning roll?
No, you don't have to give me a spinning roll.
Okay.
He's got to aim to hit, but
sure.
you know.
Do you want me to aim, or do you want him to aim? And can I assist him since he is launching off?
I think you can assist him.
Sure.
So why don't you roll to help him? All you have to get is... Yeah, it's only...
well, my coordination is a 6 stat, and I rolled a 2, so that's an 8.
All right. So that is, in game terms, a moderate success.
Cool.
So that adds 1 to
I gave you a plus
Siafu's roll.
Awesome.
For your plan.
All right.
Worked.
Okay. Do I roll right now?
Yep.
Yep.
Just roll coordination plus athletics if you have it, plus a d6.
Okay. I have coordination, which is an 8. I wrote this. Okay, so a 4. So 4 plus 8, that's 12. And then, yeah.
12? Well, I was going to spin it out into a pyramid test, but you're at a sufficient result right now. So, with the help and everything else, there's his... You go flying straight as an arrow, right into his ear,
Yes.
and
You say that right up until the point that you get into his ear, and then realize that you're in his ear, and that's disgusting.
This actually reminds me of that toy as a kid where you're pulling and pulling and pulling, and then you launch it, and this little person with the wings, flies around and around and around.
Oh, because as I was flying through the air, I was like, wee!
Wee! Arms out.
Of course. There is, because this is a late Silver Age, early Bronze Age comic, we do not worry about earwax or strange hairs or anything like that. So in you go. You pass the 3 tiny bones, the eardrum, and the semicircular canals are coming up. Mariner, you have a broken helicopter, and the gorilla is holding a yellow Volkswagen Beetle on the way to the illusion of the banana van.
Mm-hmm. So, do I know how long the illusions usually last? The ones created by...
They last as long as she pays attention. So sometimes if she actually gets distracted, they could go away, but normally they don't. She holds on to them until they are no longer useful and then lets them go.
Good.
Just like you should do with your friends, kids. Wait, no, what?
No, I don't think so.
And knowing is half the battle. Okay.
I say to the other folks present, okay, everyone still in the helicopter, leave now. This one's broken anyway.
Oh, okay. And
yes,
the girl...
We'll all leave the helicopter, and quickly, please.
And you do notice that she is not even as tall as the space between the ground and the helicopter, but she just steps out and floats down. And the dog is going, gorillas. You poke of misery. Okay. Siafu is in there, hoping to wreak a little havoc. Unfortunately, the gorilla goes first, and Siafu disappears. So the gorilla picks up a fine Mercedes, probably owned by a captain or better, and you hear in the distance a cry, "Not my car!" And the gorilla tosses the car to one side as it tries to get closer to the illusory banana van. All right.
Well, at least it wasn't that guy's car.
True.
Should I start playing Banana Phone now?
You hear the pop of the tires bursting and the shriek of metal and the cry of, "Green Gorilla! Green Gorilla!" Artist.
I will... Well, how close is he to the parking lot at this point?
He is in the parking lot.
Awesome. At this point, I will somersault over him, cartwheel over him, actually. Cartwheel over his back, and I will pull my jianzi, my blade, my sword, and I will basically start to... I'm not trying to kill him, so I'm using the blunt of the blade, the side of the blade, but I am going to start batting at him to try and make my friend inside his ear a little more effective. So, this is going to be on prowess. This is going to be a d6 plus 10 because it is with a weapon.
Okay.
I rolled a 13 total.
And he is not particularly difficult to hit because he is 20 feet tall.
Okay. And I'm cartwheeling down his back as I'm quick swiping with the blunt of my blade, slapping him back and forth with it.
I thought you were going to use the iron-tipped fan. That was sort of my... Anyway, yes, you certainly managed to hit him. What is the damage that
Now, it's been a while. How much damage do I do again? I forget.
You do your strength for something like this.
My strength
you would
is
probably
6.
do. Okay, so you would do 6 points of damage.
Okay, 6 points.
All right, and it does not even dent his skin. He is that big and that tough. Okay. All right, Jinx.
I want to try and use probability control that he steps onto a car that is going to start basically moving from under him, and so the banana that you step on gag, but on a much larger scale.
Fortunately, there is a yellow Cadillac Fleetwood right there, and it's already got the roof crushed in, so it looks like a giant banana. He steps on it, and it starts to rock, and shoots away from him. Does he manage to? No, he doesn't manage. So he falls backward. Would you make a coordination roll, artist, to see if he lands on you? Because you were running down his back.
Yep. I rolled a nat 6 on my die. Woohoo! That's a 12.
All right.
That's a 12.
He is so big that it's still only barely missing him. But he does miss you.
I dodge out of the way, cartwheeling away. Okay?
All right. He's lying down. We seem to have lost Siafu for a minute.
Yes, he is.
Alice, did you ring him again?
He is not ready to be rung, it seems.
Yes, okay.
Siafu is hacking through the jungles of ear.
Yes, hacking through the jungles of earwax.
Alas, yes, those are kind of a quicksand in the jungle. And anyway, I'm not going to go with this metaphor anymore.
I was just imagining that our shrunk friend, or our little friend, could be attacked by big fleas now. But I would notice those. So I had an idea, but it's a little tricky. Might still work, but I have to get close to the gorilla.
Well, that's not hard. He's lying down in the middle of the parking lot.
Right. So the fall doesn't do that much to him, like the concrete.
Oh, no, the fall does not. You could probably set off a howitzer next to him, and
he probably said green gorilla because of the fall, but I don't think there's a whole lot else.
Yes, they seem to be saying their names like Pokemon.
Do you not have the Great Ape reference from Hanna-Barbera, Norbert?
I know a little something from Hanna-Barbera, but probably not that cartoon.
I think your character remembers, because I just rolled for you, that that was all he could say in the cartoon.
Good.
He had very limited vocabulary.
So Mariner now has to do a bit of a sprint. And I'm in my harness, so this is a part leather and part metallic combat harness. And I'm running, a few dozen yards across the parking lot, passing by a few cars, and I want to get exactly toward one of the gorilla's paws. I don't care whether it's left or right. But I want to get to one of his arms, and want to be close to his hand, because if he then grabs me, he would be affected by the aura.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Good plan. There's that. Jinx will roll so much better that Jinx remembers that the green gorilla was afraid of mice. So, although you have done fine, should you happen to create an illusion of a mouse, you can steer him that way too, because he will run from mice. Yes, of course. And we wait a moment. Siafu's work does not seem to have taken effect yet.
Okay.
He reaches out to... Well, you're making yourself available for grabbing. So, yes, he grabs you and takes...
Does he love him and hug him and call him Green Gorilla?
Because that's how he pronounces George.
That's right.
He is temporarily distracted by the fact that he is holding something tingly. That twitches in his palm, and now he is going to poke at you with a giant green finger.
This is really quite strong. Let's see how far this goes.
The gorilla can lift a train. So, and he pokes at you. He will make a dex roll. He will not. So you are hit by the effective strength of a battering ram with 20 men in your chest. You can, of course, roll backwards to lessen the blow, or you can attempt to stand there and take it like a man.
You are a seaman, though, so...
So how much more or less of a man are you because of that?
Anyway, my 3 physical traits here, my prowess, coordination, strength, they're all the same level for now. It's a 5 anyway. Use the coordination, and
this would be prowess.
Prowess, okay, right. Because
doesn't matter. It's the same number for you.
Prowess, I'll spend one of my determination points to I can increase the effort on a defense. Okay.
Okay.
Isn't that okay? It's only for this one test. Improved effort. Okay, so that
you're essentially trying to dodge out of the way of the giant finger.
Yes. Okay. Technically, I have to activate one of the qualities, of course. So I'll say I'm a man of the seas.
And you know how to walk as if you were on a rolling ship. Okay.
Good. So that 1 point of determination purchases the +2. So I have the 7 plus the die. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not too good. That's a 9 total.
Okay. So his finger. He also got a 9. So his finger just grazes you, and you feel like, since that's moderate and your strength, blah, 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 is 4 points of damage. So he's really quite strong. He just grazed you, but it's still 4 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness you managed to roll to one side.
Right. I still have 7 stamina left.
Yes.
Okay. And since that was a touch, that would now mean well, can be any sort of contact. I mean, he would have to deal with the 5 aura.
Yes. Unfortunately, the 5 aura does not seem to overcome his damage resistance of 8.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So we gave that one a try.
It was a good idea.
Guesstimate what his resistance is, but of course, as a character, I don't know that it's an 8.
That's true.
Okay. I'm a little shaken there, a little squished.
A bit, yes. And you're still on his palm.
Right.
But you have distracted him, so he has not managed to get up. He's lying there looking at this strange buzzing guy. Or tingling guy. Right? Let's see if he's doing. Let's see if he's doing. Have I...
Yes.
Brandon, did I get to you?
Siafu's suffering some internet issues. He's actually calling his internet company right now. During
Okay.
peak times, multiple times we've dealt with him during peak times, his internet basically cruds out due to bandwidth issues. So he's calling the company right now to say this is unacceptable.
All right.
Trying to get back in.
So
we had
if
that 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's a different company, but I also went through that very recently.
So.
Is there anywhere that I think that we might be able to contain a creature of this size? I mean, if we can make him run, but at the moment he's just beating up on a parking lot and us. So if he's going to get scared from a mouse, I need something for us to funnel him. So I want to try and start looking for something that we might be able to use to contain him, since the heavy hitters out of us don't do much.
Well, I have a different approach coming up on my next action. We'll see how that works.
You know that there are several small islands off the shore. There's the shipping channel that they have to travel through, but on the edges of it are several small islands, including what the heck, a Revolutionary War fort, which is currently used as an educational park, but could be, quarantined off and have a giant gorilla in it.
Okay. I go ahead and over comms I will inform Artist. I've just been watching the cartoons. The creature will flee from a mouse, I think.
Okay.
All right. The gorilla has acted. Artist.
Well, then I am going to... I don't see anywhere to really make him flee to, unless you're saying that I think I can get him through the water, right?
Yeah, that's good thinking, because he's just going to run someplace and cause more damage.
Yeah.
Grab people.
So my idea right now is to change it. I'm going to create a giant version of a meteor hammer, which means that instead of using a small ball or a small dagger, I will take my blade, I will fasten it to my sash, and I'm going to do what you see in the Chinese dynastic movies, where they have these long sashes that are attached to a blade and they shoot him out, and I'm going to basically shoot him at his feet or his ankle, hoping to embed it, wrap it around, entangle, and do using a rope dart attack basically and trip this thing. And I am stronger than I look, but I am going to also use a determination at this point because I am
Alright,
determined.
I'm just going to clarify. He's still lying down.
Oh, I apologize. You did get him to lay down. Actually, at that point, that's much easier. I'm now going to use my... I'm going to now basically use a meteoric hammer to tie his 2 ankles together so he can't get back up.
Okay. All right. You have them. That sounds like a pyramid test to me.
I'm going to roll. I forget what I get with a determination if I pop it right now.
If the drug conversation is just anyway, you can either make the sash 1 point stronger.
Yeah, I'm going to make the sash 1 point stronger.
Okay.
So, this would be a prowess at this point, right?
Yes.
So, I am going to... So, this is 8, 10, 11 plus my die roll.
Okay.
I rolled bad. I rolled a 2, so that's a 13.
Fortunately, he rolled a 1. So, he gets 5, you get a 14. So, yes, you managed to swiftly fasten him in place. And he moves to one side. He tries to get up. He sort of makes a sound. He looks... it's hard to tell.
Okay.
That it's green because he's green, but he looks sort of nauseated.
Okay. I am going to over comms call out "Laosu Sui Dao Nani," and in front, and Jinx I believe is nearby enough that I know where he is, and in front of him.
I'm invisible and stealthed.
Oh, okay. Well then, in that case, Cloud Riding appears above us. Where do I chase him with the mouse? In Cloud Riding, like you would do with the the flipping planes and whatnot. So in Cloud Riding, where do I chase him with a mouse?
All that I can think of is that there are islands, but if he can get to an island, he can get off the island. We need to find a more permanent solution for whatever is going on. By the way, do these look like cartoons as we're seeing them, or does he look like a 20'8" more?
He looks like a cartoon.
In Cloud Riding, I say, can Laosu shrink him? In Big Cloud Riding.
Siafu is a smart man. I'm certain that he could come up with something given time. Right now, we have no time.
Okay.
Yeah, getting him to regular gorilla size would, help us.
And the girl says, "Oh, you want to make him smaller? Okay." And the dog goes, "Oh, no, you're not gonna." Okay. Mariner, what would you like to do?
Okay, I still have to do something from the previous action here because my power has the weakness of burnout. So if I roll a 1 or a 2 now on my die, I cannot use aura again for this chapter. Luckily, it's a 4. So right, this functions. Okay, I feel pretty good about it. Gosh, did you just say? I'm saying to the little girl. Did you just say you have a way of making him smaller? More, easier to handle, perhaps for us.
Oh, I can certainly help Siafu when he shrinks him. Now, whether he's going to do that, I mean, you'd have to ask Jinx, but I can certainly give him an extra push when he does it.
Oh, I believe Siafu is still somewhere in his ear. Siafu, anything in there? Any objections?
Jinx， 它为什么是动画片的猴子 in the cloud you see, why is he a cartoon monkey?
Because the individual that we fought 3 months ago has powers over comics, cartoons, things like that. Would be my guess, at least. They have probably sprung him, though I have to wonder why there's no videotape of this action. And that is why he runs from mice. It's part of the je ne sais quoi of his cartoon.
It's because he's a tulpa.
A what?
You got tulpas, says the Chihuahua.
Now let's say
对不起，我不懂 tulpa. I'm sorry, I don't understand tulpa. Still in the clouds. Planes writing all these words fast.
Man, you got air traffic problems. So the dog explains what a tulpa is. Do people know what a tulpa is? It's a Tibetanite concept. When enough people believe something, it becomes real.
Oh, very interesting.
But the dog will explain there's a whole dimension of them. It's a kind of a platonic ideal plane. And normally it's not really a problem when they escape into our dimension because they become whatever people want them to be. And presumably these decided that if they became things that already had strong mental associations, that is to say cartoons, then they would be less malleable once they came through. Otherwise, you can just defeat them by getting people to believe something else. That's why there are so many different versions of stories, because Patriot frequently, when it encounters one, it then creates the new story about the Phantom Hitchhiker who's actually nice and not a killer. And,
the concept of tulpas is through a lot of different cultures by a lot of different words, but it is a thing that is in certain types of, it's a belief in certain types of Buddhism is where the term tulpa comes from in itself, in case
that's what he
wondering.
said.
No, it's not just Tibetan, it is Buddhism.
It's Buddhism, period. I know it originally from Tibet.
It is a Tibetan and Indian Buddhism term, tulpa. And so I wanted to know what your interpretation of that word was, because there are certain origins of it. And yes, it is basically the collective the collective malleableness of reality. But it comes through in Indian and in Indian and Tibetan Buddhism.
Yes, I do not mean in any sense to make fun of or light of anybody's beliefs.
Yeah.
No. This is for other people listening. I know you know. But for the purposes of this story, there are tulpas that act like that.
Yeah, cool. No, that's cool, because it isn't. I am actually really enjoying that someone's actually using that concept in the way that you're doing. FYI, if Nick gets back in the game, I vote he gets a determination point, because he just wrote me, my modem rolled a 1.
Oh.
He's on the phone with the diagnostics people, and they're doing diagnostics, and apparently...
Let's be honest. The Ranger could not do this much geekery.
He's loving the game.
He took too much geekery.
His modem couldn't keep up. So, if he gets back on, yeah. But, please continue. Sorry.
All right. No, that's fine. So that is essentially what he is. And all the people who know the green gorilla for what he is are keeping him in that form. So.
I was just thinking, every time I was at the beach, a nice sandy beach, and it was getting warm, I couldn't walk on the sand. It's getting too hot. You needed sandals. Now, I'm not sure what this gorilla's feet are like, but if we could get them to a really sandy, hot area, maybe if he would chase an illusory mouse or something else. We just have to get him somewhere where he cannot walk, or where he
in the sky you see. I have no problem making a mouse. I just needed to know where to chase him to. There's nowhere around to do so. So my question right now, and so you see that rapid fire writing because that I need to know where to send him to, but I have a question about that. So tulpas go by a different word, and I'm trying to remember what the word is in Chinese. And since I am specifically a student of all this kinds of mythology, because that is part of me being in this being in that type of dance, that all the stories we tell are from these old mythologies. I'm wondering if I have a understanding of tulpas, and I don't remember the Chinese word for it because it's been a long time.
I think you probably do. Okay. Go ahead and give me an intellect roll.
Sure. Let me
remember the details.
Sure.
Right now.
I didn't roll well. I got a 5.
And your intellect is?
No, I got a 5 total.
5 total?
Yeah.
Okay. On the stress of the moment, you cannot remember the word right now. You're familiar with the general concept, though.
Yeah, okay. So the general concept I understand. So at that point, I'm going to do what I'm going to, at that point, try and communicate this to my team. Where are you right now, Norbert? Do I see you?
Yeah, you can see him. He's right by the gorilla.
Okay. So, where are all the witnesses?
Hiding in the police station.
But they're all looking, right? And then they've got their phones out and such like that? Okay.
You bet.
I am now going to reenact a story, a old Chinese story. And, oh gosh, I am so rusty on some of these stories. I'm sorry, it's been like 30 years on some of these stories. But there is a story of an old man in the mountain. And I'm going to start dancing to this. And I'm going to start creating, as I dance, these images start coming up. And the scenery of a mountain and an old man. And the short version is I'm essentially going to create a story that is stronger and allowing them to visually process, to overpower and create something else for them to believe in right now. And this man had a student. The student was the student was a foundling. The foundling was believed to be the only one that could slay this giant monster. And I'm going to basically, instead of the giant monster that was in the original story, make that story into the big gorilla. And I'm going to create this elaborate story and vision so that every camera and every person that's witnessing it sees, and I create an overpowering image so that this young boy, who is the foundling, who is the only one that can slay this beast, is created. And I am going to interpose, since Norbert is right next to me, I'm going to interpose him and create him and turn him into the little boy. So everyone believes he is our champion. And he is the one and only one that can slay him. And then I will say...
I don't think you could make him not a green gorilla.
No. But what I'm doing is basically saying that in the story, instead of the creature that was the green gorilla, I am, the story originally deals with a serpentine demon spirit that needed to be slain because it was eating cities, eating towns. And so in this case, though, instead of a serpentine, I am going to say that the big monster was this green gorilla, and only this foundling boy could slay him. And I'm going to make everyone believe that Norbert's character, the Sea Mariner, since he's right next to me, right next to the guy, is the foundling boy, and with one punch, he is able to take this serpent down. But he is the only one that can take it down. And I'm just gonna, let everyone broadcast the story and create this mass overpowering belief that he is more powerful than that gorilla.
All right.
To the left. To the left. You need to move it to the left.
So Nick just said, just finally got my info, internet outage in my area.
So he broke it for everyone else, too.
I think the ranger went and took out his internet station because he was like, nope, can't do that much geekery. I want to, using precog, just try and assist her in, like I said, to the left, to get the best shots and such like that for the most effect on what she is doing.
All right. I think that counts as somebody assisting.
I'm going to use doctoring tomorrow. I'll go ahead and mark off one of my determination for that.
Okay.
And since the classical Chinese dance, that's exactly the kind of stories that these are about, is the old mythology and these spirits and stories. And whenever I start dancing, these images come up. I'm just going to weave this story and use his help and start just weaving it and making certain I interpose the Sea Mariner as the little foundling boy and our champion.
Okay.
So it's all on you, Mariner.
I'm going to say there's probably something like 60 to 100 people actually physically present, and some number more than that watching on the internet. So you are effectively strength 10.
Awesome.
When fighting the gorilla.
Go, Mariner. You're
Fine.
It behaves as if you're strength 10.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mariner, go for it. Take him out.
Strength goes up. All right. So I noticed that this change has just happened, but I still look like my regular self. I mean,
oh yes,
to myself.
To you,
okay.
yes.
So,
there's,
right.
I'm interposing an image over you, so you can see basically that you kind of have this look over you, but you're not seeing your face, So you can see that your hands look a little different. Your legs, if you look down, look different. You're in a different wardrobe. You look like you're dressed like a peasant boy rather than your normal gear. So you look like you're dressed like a peasant boy, a foundling boy.
Yeah, that's not bad. I just had a look at my qualities, whether I might use something for better or worse. Okay, now I forgot about the vehicle stuff. Okay, but I still have one quality called "Gotta get to the bottom of this."
All right.
This is what I'm very interested in.
You're gonna punch him in the bottom?
Brandon, it's a family show. We don't need your kinkiness.
Says the person that airs certain random stuff on Supers groups.
But not this show. Not yet.
I appreciate that. Thank you. PWK is a family show.
Now, to keep this simple, I would like to access or activate my Man of the Seas quality another time.
Sure.
I'm spending another determination point. I want to push the harness power, the aura.
Okay.
All right. Strength 10, you said. Okay, I have the strength 10 in case I hit. But then, the aura will still be there. And I was thinking it's Man of the Seas because we are pretty close to the sea, and maybe this foundling boy in her story is also coastal, in origin.
Okay.
He went to the sea, to the Chinese Sea.
Funny we're Japanese, because the mountain and the sea are essentially in the same place there. But anyway.
Right.
Okay.
So if it's my turn, then I'm going to do prowess, right? right?
Yep.
Good old prowess.
Prowess. And the gorilla is -2 to all defenses. It's so big. So
until his internet comes back on, his character's being punished by being stuck in a gorilla's ear and all the earwax is wrapping around him.
It's a quicksand thing. It would be very dramatic if we were constantly cutting back and forth, but
yes, he
can draw it some other time.
By organic goo. Okay, now I just rolled a 5.
Okay.
My prowess is 5. So yeah, 10 total, 10 effort.
Right. And he gets a total of 6, so that's a major success. I think.
Yeah, I first do my my strength damage,
Yes.
and then that'd be an extra 6. That's the aura 5, pushed to a 6 for 1 page.
All right.
Well, and you punched him with your strength 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Then I gave him strength 10.
Okay. 8. And then we'll check the aura as well. The aura does not manage to penetrate, but the strength does.
It looked a little sparkly. It has no game effect, but it's drawn in the comic book.
Yes, and he gets smaller.
And that sparkly that comes off of him, that natural aura, I'm going to highlight that as the aura that's seen on the Chosen Boy kind of look when it's sparking off as I'm creating the story and weaving it. And then when he makes it smaller, I create a rousing moment of flares and just kind of like fireworks, showing that this is the time when they should be applauding, since the images aren't actually making sound and all, but giving them a moment to applaud as they see that he has made this thing smaller, and he is indeed the chosen one.
You could literally write applause in, the old stage thing.
That's true. I will do an applause light.
Disembodied clapping comes from me.
And
it's more of a slow clap, but, it's a clap.
And just keep this momentum going and continue the story and continue dancing.
All right. In the interest of time, what we will do is we will treat it as a double pyramid test.
Okay.
Okay. Hitting isn't actually much of a problem, but we want to see how well you roll. You are aiding, so you are effectively, as long as you keep this up, you are effectively a +1.
Okay.
Jinx is also helping, so that's a +2 to, and you can, that's aiding, so you can have that be aiding effect as well as effort.
Okay.
So you could be effectively strength 12.
Okay.
Or you can choose to add it to the roll in an attempt to get to 2 massive successes faster. Your choice. But roll again to hit it.
I think giving him a strength 12 right now works pretty well.
Yep.
And at this point, I'd like to cite the fact that I'm a famous dancer, because I guess I'm not needing to roll anything, so citing inequalities is unnecessary. Cool. So just make it 12 for me.
Determination, but I don't think it did anything.
Go, Norbert.
Yeah.
Use the strength 12 and just beat it. Quick
All right,
rolls.
roll the hit, not because we think you'll miss, but because we want to see how well you succeed.
Yes, roll the hit. And then roll at a strength 12.
This is a natural 6.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have 11.
He rolled really well this time, but okay, that adds a moderate success. to it. So, 11 to 9. So, we take 4 stamina off, and he shrinks 1 more. So that's
do it again.
That's great.
Shrinks about 1 level. But he's not regular gorilla size.
No, he's not a regular gorilla.
Because if this continues, then all of a sudden I'll be bigger than him, and fighting a tiny.
Yeah, keep beating him. Keep beating him.
Norbert, it's the dream that you've always had, to beat up a tiny gorilla.
Yes, this is not actually an animal. This is more of a cartoon monster. Talking cartoon monster.
That's why you became a seaman in the first place, to beat up tiny gorillas. That was your dream as a child.
You'd seen King Kong.
I always wanted to get to that gorilla island, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought about, doing the mouse thing as soon as Brandon commented. My concern was if he doesn't just disappear and he chooses to actually run, we were going to have a heck of a problem on our hands. So.
Yeah.
Norbert flies fast.
Roll it, Norbert. Come on.
When he has a helicopter.
Yeah, when he has a helicopter. That works.
Okay,
Crash again.
Same thing, right? Okay.
Yep, go for it. Beat him again. Hit him again.
Beat that poor gorilla again.
Yeah, and the
gorilla attempts to struggle to its feet because Sifu is not here.
I just rolled a 6 again.
Nice!
Excellent. It manages to snap the bindings around its feet. It staggers up, but the mariner hits him another time and manages to knock him out. He teeters. He falls over and shrinks a bit more.
Okay.
He'll never get really small, but
so,
he's now only a 12-foot tall gorilla.
Okay, a 12-foot tall gorilla, if it starts to rampage everywhere, we can handle that. At this point, I'm going to create a mouse in front of his eyes and see if he disappears from running. If not, we can get a hold of him.
No, he's unconscious.
Sure. Well, at this point, we can get it. We can get him taken away, right? So.
Right. You have facilities for a 12-foot gorilla.
Okay. And then when he wakes up, we'll mouse him to see if he disappears.
Okay.
But right
now, as he's unconscious, I want to go and check him medically. And does he have things like a pulse and other life signs?
He has a pulse because you expect there to be a pulse.
So enough people expect there to be a pulse?
Yes. He has respiration because enough people expect there to be respiration. He does not need to eat or go to the bathroom. But
Oh, and actually I just realized I should have mentioned this. John, a great way to relate it to our audience, because just about everyone's read it these days or has watched the TV show or knows of it. American Gods is a great example of what the meaning of tulpas is in our modern day.
Right.
Yeah, I was also thinking of something I read in a Champions book, or Hero System anyway. Maybe you have that, Alice. There's, I believe it's in Mystic World. There's one Mystic World or Mystic Worlds, Mystic something, and they described an alternate dimension that characters might be able to travel to, and it's basically a land where all of the fictitious characters exist, from legends and folk tales and fairy tales, and Santa Claus lives there, and cartoon characters and characters from literature might all be encountered in that dimension. And for some reason, they call that Babylon.
Yeah, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'll have to look into it later. Thanks, Norbert.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you want, you can read the book Silverlock by John Myers, which is essentially which takes place on the island of fiction. So Paul Bunyan is there, and all sorts of things.
Oh, I read that book a long time ago.
All right, so I'm going to I'm going to start trying to look through with precog and try and find a source on these problems where that baseball card machine might have been.
Okay. It's okay. Then you manage to see the small girl reaching around in her purse, which seems much bigger on the inside than the outside. Not that she's a Time Lord or anything, but and she pulls out the metal ball contraption and then 2 baseball cards and waves it, brings it closer to the green gorilla and the baseball cards, which are of Shoeless Joe Robinson and Ty Cobb. Flare out. Shoeless Joe Jackson, sorry. Yep, you got to help us, says the Chihuahua. And then the girl reaches in there and finds a bone and gives it to the dog. Since the dog is sitting in the purse, you do not quite see how the dog could have been unaware of the bone, but...
Go watch, I think, 2 Stupid Dogs from the 90s, and Where's My Bone? Where's My Bone? And so when I tried to danger sense on her, I got an image of that earlier.
Yes.
Of that baseball card thing. Okay. On comms, I am going to relay to you guys that whatever she has in her purse, I think, is of great danger and very possibly behind part of this. If she is supposed to be some sort of Lord of Chaos, that would be...
She's only a spirit of chaos. The Lord of Chaos is the dog.
It's taken by DC. When I tried to perceive danger earlier, I saw those baseball cards in her contraption.
No, that was precognition as opposed to danger. Okay. Sorry,
because I was trying to check her for danger.
For danger?
Because that's my concern, is that,
right. There is no immediate danger for... though, of course, anyone could be dangerous eventually. Through the span of time that your danger chance... I don't speak. Your danger sense checks, she is not dangerous.
Oh, okay. So... Now, what I was trying to precog was, just a second ago, was basically where these problems might be coming from.
Right.
But what I'm talking about is back in the helicopter.
Right. In the helicopter, I meant precog as opposed to danger sense. Right now, the precog tells you see... do you have telepathy or anything?
Nope.
Okay. You see... an image of what is clearly an ancient Chinese artifact. You've hung around with Spring enough that you can tell that it's an ancient Chinese artifact.
Do I get any sense of where this ancient Chinese artifact might be, other than under a sign that says ancient Chinese artifact?
Well, there is a museum of ancient Chinese artifacts.
All right. I will...
Sadly enough, Chinatown. So.
Over comms, I will go ahead and relay. There's something that I want to check out at the museum on Springer Street in Chinatown.
Oh, good. Sure. I think we'll come right with you.
I look for where you are at that point. Do we see you yet?
No.
你在哪里? Where are you? 我陪你去. I'm gonna go with you.
Okay. Do we have a lift yet?
There are any number of police cars there you could use that aren't broken.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we will take one of the police cars that aren't broken.
Right. And a police officer will offer to drive you because
多谢
he
多谢
knows
麻烦你开车我不要他开车 OK 麻烦你 Yeah, yes, please drive us. Thank you so much. I don't want him to drive.
They know about the Submariner's tendency when he gets vehicles.
I know. I'm thanking him. I said very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 多谢多谢
I was just about to say, because his thing there, his shtick is that every time he gets into a car or other conveyance, to him that's more of a weapon. Or
yes, it's amazing what the average Detroit vehicle will do.
Disposable piece of just, fighting or armor.
Okay. And Spring will know this. There is a, it looks like a cheap tourist shop with, here's the walking tour of the famous ancient Chinese artifacts, blah, blah, blah. Except in the basement are actual ancient Chinese artifacts, which, as someone associated with the vermilion bird, you know.
Uh-huh.
And that is where a number of items you have come into contact with are stored.
Okay.
This is a classy-looking place. Should have come here earlier.
Oh, it's very classy. You can buy an authentic fake kimono, even though kimonos are not Chinese.
You can buy cheapaos. How's that? Cheapaos are better. Cheapaos are Chinese.
It's like Chun-Li's dress.
Yeah, if you didn't know what it is, that's cheapaos are the traditional Chinese dress. Cool. 我知道这个地方
the top has anything that will sell to round-eyed tourists.
Okay. 我知道这个地方，你在找什么？I know of this place. What are you looking for? 我们需要下去。We need to go downstairs.
I will describe to her what we are looking for. What I feel that we are looking for.
Yes. And they know immediately what it is. It is an artifact that you knew of just because it's down there and you've been there, but nobody knew what it was for.
Okay.
And you go downstairs. There is a man in a long duster with a fedora, shadowing his face so you cannot see exactly what it is. And he stands in front of the door at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
And says, "You shall not snorfing pass."
Does the guy in the fedora look like the geek from the comic store?
No.
Okay.
By the way, just so you do know, after this, my character is planning on trying to watch as many cartoons and such as possible. So I want to look forward to, what I might learn about some of these different characters with my precog by watching cartoons, if any of them come up.
Great. Then you can determine that these are snarfs.
Do Snurfs have any weaknesses?
Well, known weaknesses? Aside from that only one of them really thinks? Papa Snurf? And then there's all the other Snurfs who act together and they're fine. You could, I don't know, Gargamel has been trying to kill them for years. They seem to be insanely lucky. And they're a swarm, essentially, a swarm of Snurfs. Currently dressed in a duster and pretending to be a person.
You are literally saying Smurf as in SMURF, as in the
No,
blue guy.
Snarf as in from Thundercats, but because they can't use Smurf in this, because that would be a trademark. Though I'm blown away that they can use Snarf, and that's not...
they use actually Snorf. SNORPH.
Oh, okay.
And it's only my odd Canadian accent that makes you think it's that other word.
Okay.
Anyway.
So
yes, because I was expecting them to start calling out for Tigero in a second,
so
and him to come
little
kick her
pointy
ass.
ears with the big beard and mustache and like little pudgy thing with the tail, right? That's what we're talking about?
I don't believe there's a tail.
3 apples high and they're blue,
3
I believe.
pairs high, if you please.
SNARF, right? From, like, as in literally from Thundercats.
No. That's what it sounds like, but they're Smurfs.
Okay, cool.
But we can't use the word Smurfs in this product.
Yeah, got it. Cool. That makes a lot more sense. So we are talking Smurfs, we're just saying something else. Cool. Makes more sense.
So
now are they 3 like reference pairs tall? So, okay, none of you guys watched that show.
No,
never mind.
I have not watched that show. So you shall not snarfing pass, okay? Jinx, I look to you.
They're creatures from another show. They beguile a hermit that simply wants to be left alone and eat them in his pie. I would say they're most akin to leprechauns. You're familiar?
I nod.
Why can't we pass?
'Cause
Yao Jing.
you shall not snurfing pass.
Yao Jing, and since you were saying leprechauns, I produce a bar of gold in my hand, and I ask, Yao Jing.
Does the evil wizard have perhaps a dog that chases them around?
The evil wizard has a sure. It's a very cat-like dog.
A very cat-like dog.
The lion dogs of China. Perhaps one of those might work here.
I create a lion dog of China, and I started as a golden statue in front of this three snarf high tall thing guy, and so it starts as this lion dog statue, and it starts to basically bronze up and gold up, and it starts to come to life, and it starts to go rah, 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 at the thing.
Okay. The Snurf Collective there uses up its turn to pour a potion, which it produces from somewhere inside the duster, on the lion dog, which of course has no effect because
it's just an image.
The lion dog is just an image. So there is a potion pouring down onto the floor.
Okay. So.
That's odd. Usually that works.
We come with powerful magicians. You're useful in our potions. Perhaps you should go away before something worse happens to you. and just allow us to pass. I will try and negotiate with them.
Oh, you said the wrong words. You shall not snorfing pass.
Sir.
Can we blurping pass?
Let's see here. Who is standing in front in the stairwell?
The dog.
After the dog.
Not me at the moment. Actually, no, sure, me. I'll stand in front. Sounds
Sure.
right. Sounds right.
Okay.
I am the tank of the group, even though I don't look it.
Okay. Then they will attempt. Yeah. They will attempt to grab you. They
I
because
start spinning. I start spinning
Sure.
when they start to grab me, and because it gives me bonus. My spinning gives me bonuses against grabs.
Yep. And they get several attempts because they functionally have fast attack.
Sure.
So they will try several times. You have spinning seven, I think.
Yes, I have spinning.
So, I don't think they'll manage,
Okay.
but they'll certainly try.
And you guys see my clothes fly up, my the extra long sleeves fly up, and just start spinning and spinning and spinning.
Their duster probably flies up and makes them look cool.
Probably.
Yes.
Dusters give you a +5 to your coolness, by the way.
Not to anything else, but yeah. All right. So roll your prowess plus the bonuses you get from.
First one I got was a nat 6 on my die. Prowess is an 8, so that is oh my gosh, 14. There we go, my brain. And yeah, so I don't know I forget how many bonuses I get from spinning for it. I have to look in the book. Anybody got the book open?
Yes, I've got the book open. What do I need again?
I need what bonus spinning gives to my grapple, to fight grapples and use on grapples. Is it a +2 or +1?
Spinning generates a wind screen and substitutes a power level for coordination.
Keep going.
Okay.
Binding resistance.
Yeah, there's a binding resistance.
That's
okay.
Yes, yeah.
So you have effectively a binding resistance of 7.
Okay.
So their 13 becomes a. Okay. It's only versus their strength. They can try to hold you, but it could become trivial to break free. Okay. Yes, they managed to grab you twice.
And I just throw them right off, it sounds like.
But you just throw them right off because you're moving too fast for them.
Has that knocked the snarfs around the room as she's spinning?
I was just about to ask that myself.
Yes, it does not. None of the ones she has thrown aside have a beard.
Okay.
So none of them look like they're the leader of the Snarf pack.
Correct.
All right. I want to, for my action, I want to just try and use awareness as I move into the room, looking around for who might be the leader of the Snarf pack.
Right. Okay. Then awareness, just make a roll.
Sure. That is a 4. The awareness is a 7. So that is 11 total.
Okay. They are, being in the form of a cartoon has many advantages, but the disadvantage
is not one of them in the real world.
The disadvantage is that sometimes you're kind of obvious. And where would the head of the Snarf Collective be? The head of the figure in the duster.
Okay.
wearing the fedora.
Aye. I point that one out, and Sneaky Mariner, punch him into submission.
Punch again. Okay. Sounds...
Punch him into submission. That is the motto of all comic books. Okay.
Right.
Roll to hit.
Don't have weapons on me. It's just
time for a little trooper trample.
Okay, with prowess, I'm getting a total of 10.
Okay. And it gets 8, so you manage moderate success. You're going to do full damage. Your full strength damage.
Yes, that's a 5.
Okay, and there's nothing extra there. You certainly managed to knock Papa Snorf there off the pile, and you can roll to see if you stunned him.
Mm-hmm.
So strength versus
yes.
his...
I remember that's the strength, the 5 from the strength again.
Yep.
And I've got a 4 here, so 9 total.
Okay, and I got a 2, so you have stunned him for this panel. So for the next panel, he's not acting. So, and the Snarfs sort of can act, but they won't do anything really smart.
Okay.
So you've managed to do that. They don't act because their head is stunned. I mean, one of them will try to grab the whirling person because that's what they were doing before. So 2 more Snarfs go flying away.
Okay. I haven't actually gotten a chance to attack, so I am going to attack as well. I'm not going to use, at this point I'm going to pull out a war fan. I'm going to keep the war fan closed because I'm going to use it for bludgeoning damage. And I am going to beat the Papa Smurf on the head with my war fan. I rolled a 3 on my die, so that's a 13.
He's stunned. It's, not like, it's not tough. So, yes, you managed to hit him with a massive success.
Okay. So the damage doesn't seem to actually be diminishing him?
What is the total amount of damage?
I have a strength 6.
Okay. It certainly knocks his fedora off to reveal the other hat he's wearing underneath it, the beret, or not a beret, that weird sort of peasant cap that curls up. And
pajama cap is how I've always called it.
And you certainly managed to, you certainly think you've hurt him, but yes, and you can also roll for stunning.
Sure.
What would 2 cases of stunning do? Is it just stun for a longer time, or?
That's all I'm going to treat it as. It's not worth.
I rolled a 5 on my d6.
Okay, and that. Yes. Okay. So he is out. And you can now ignore the other ones who are going, Papa Snorf, what do we do? Papa Snorf. So it's noisy in there with all of them saying, what do we do? But you can now open the door and go in.
Okay. We go in.
Great. You see a horse.
Of
course. With sparkles and you see two sort of plain, so two military men holding the artifact, and the my tiny filly there is sparkling and black, and says, "You will never defeat Princess Sunshine," and disappears with the two gentlemen and the artifact.
I'm going to have to watch a lot of cartoons.
圣儿，什么动画片的？ I pointed ahead of us, and by the way, 圣儿 is I've been calling you all-knowing or omniscient. So instead of Jinx, I'm calling you all-knowing. What cartoon this time? And you see, instead of thought bubbles at this point, these are coming out in big. She's getting a little frustrated, so the bam boom kind of the explosion tags, and there's this big one that pops up, and then in big red letters, what cartoon?
It's an old one, mainly based originally on advancing the sales of a children's toy, My Little Philly. However, years later, it became very popular with a much older crowd as they watched it with their young children, and has become a sensation as of late. You deal with all sorts of horse creatures and their friends, and they all have different mystical powers.
美国的动画片好怪哦。American cartoons are so weird.
Oh, you should talk. Look at your mythology.
All right.
I actually, I superimpose the vermilion bird over myself. 这个有什么问题?
This is perfectly normal.
Exactly.
Yes, let us go look at the Monkey King that was trapped under a rock for so long. Let's say that's normal.
I then create the image of a big rock boulder in front of him, and the big rock boulder opens like an egg, and the Monkey King is inside it. I basically demonstrate that the Monkey King wasn't under the rock, it was in the rock.
This is my point. Your people did drugs. My people do drugs. Everybody does drugs. We all have them. Let's move on past this psychedelic trip. I want to kind of look at the newsreels and such, and see where trouble might be popping up next.
Why, the park?
Norbert's sitting there going, I can't believe I got into this group. I can't believe I'm in this weird group.
He's the normal one.
I know, Norbert's thinking, oh my gosh, why did I agree to this game?
So,
okay, now the horse would actually be a relatively normal sight for the park. Maybe they have police on horseback. Maybe there are like horse-related events.
Well, we don't know what's going on at the park right now. The horse just disappeared in front of us with the artifact down here. We don't know if the horse is actually
in the future, I'm reviewing the news.
Okay.
To guide us, and so I'm just using my precog in that fashion.
So you're telling us trouble's in the park, but do you actually see the trouble being in the park as being the horse? Is there a horse there?
No, I just say that, I see problems in the park coming.
Okay.
Because before you said the stuff about My Little Philly, I was imagining sort of a Frank Frazetta demon steed, with the fire shooting out.
That's funny.
Some kind of fantasy horse. Yeah, so we really should go have a look at the park next.
So the two of you, from what I understand, are much faster than me.
Well, actually, I'm going to come back up to the top, and I'm going to go taxi and wave down the cop that was giving us a ride. In English, taxi, and I wave down the cop car that was giving us a ride.
Spring, he's not really yeah, but doesn't matter.
Hey Norbert, why do you have all those stuffed huskies in the background? I'm jealous. So
there are in fact two stuffed huskies. One is from just a toy department, and the other are found at a little booth. In fact, in a town where we had gone for a convention, and they just happened to have this lady at this little marketplace, and it was sort of a tourist thing. They sold little toys, and by and large, I like huskies and malamutes, but I cannot have one here because I just don't have the space for a pet.
Okay.
And
well, they're very cute.
Maybe one day, but I'm a little jealous of people who do have a husky, or maybe several.
Cool.
There's I think one place in my state where you can try sort of a race, sort of what do you call them, a wagon race. Because we don't use sleds, but I think they have these little carts, these wagons, drawn by huskies.
Well, let's talk about that later.
Let's get into one of those. Let's get into a husky-drawn wagon to lead us to the park.
So get back in the cop car, and he tries to tell me that that's not actually a taxi, so I re-image the outside to look like a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
A yellow cab, specifically.
Yes, a fine, big, kind of old-timey taxi. Right.
This is what you guys get for making me roll random characters. You get plot, or you get this. You get crazy.
Actually, images you took on your own.
Shh. Anyways, back to game. Stop correcting me.
Fun thing is that in this system, images are like illusions, but they also work on machines. So you can record them, and robots will pick them up. And yes.
Yeah, I saw that when I was reading, so I'm like, oh, images seems to work well with the rest of this image of the character. So John, we're heading to the park in a cop car that's actually a taxi, that's actually a cop car.
I can't even parse all those levels.
She can give you more if you'd like.
I don't. Yes, you're coming up. There is the park. It is, of course, we are in the final act of Ghostbusters now. Cool. The clouds have come in. The lightning has started. The dark and awful things are there. So, and I am just throwing up some pictures.
You shouldn't throw up.
I shouldn't, but with this discussion, sometimes I do. I'm trying to type faster.
You can take your time. You had no reason to fear GMing for me.
Oh, that's a new picture?
Yep, there are two new pictures up. He put a My Little Pony, purple pony up, and a G.I. Joe miniature up.
Oh, now I remember. Yes, they have great puns and allusions to the actual cartoons in this supplement.
Yep.
Okay, you just wrote... The artifact is surrounded by the horse and the great and powerful Seth, and blocking your way are He-Mensch, G.I. Gordon, and He-Mensch's men.
Yes. So various characters from the He-Man cartoon are blocking your way, along with G.I. Gordon and several crack teams of, them are up against the guy who has managed to put back on his shower curtain robe, and there is a much stronger presentiment of danger around the wand that he's carrying now.
Okay.
And of course, you've got the little flaming skull horse as well. And Seth is reading something off a piece of paper he's pulled out of a printer somewhere.
Okay. First action I want to do, does he look like basically he's trying to do spell casting?
You can move there in time.
Cool.
No one else can get there in one panel.
Because I have a movement power at 7.
Right.
So, the question I have is, does it look like basically he's looking at the piece of paper like it's a spell and he's trying to incant off of it?
Yes.
Okay. First thing I'm going to do is overlay an image onto that piece of paper so it looks like... So it suddenly turns into completely foreign text that he doesn't understand. So I'm going to overlay a Chinese newspaper clipping, basically.
All right.
So
roll his head.
Sure.
Or
roll my image.
No, you do images.
Yeah.
Coordination.
Roll coordination.
Okay.
Sure. Coordination.
It's a ranged thing.
I am going to cite.
Away?
I'm going to get a +2 right now and cite that I have an active imagination as a quality.
All right.
I'm glad
you have an active imagination and you picked a newspaper to sub over it.
And I rolled really bad, Brandon. That's probably why. So I got a 9 total.
You miss him.
Okay.
The Chinese newspaper appears in the air
and
to
disappears.
one side,
yep.
Just hanging there,
okay.
Not obscuring anything except the view of the mallard behind them.
Sure. Let's go into initiatives and...
sorry, there are cartoons about ducks. I actually meant an inhabitant of the park. So...
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
Let's break it up. Norbert.
Yeah. So we roll for coordination.
Well, what are you doing right now?
What are you doing? It will take you all turn to move there, unless, of course, you're going to destroy this car and all the normal humans, because some of the G.I. Gordon squads have taken hostages because they thought that would be tactically good. And not humans, men. They will fight. So if you attempt to drive up there and break things on the way, you'll also be breaking innocent people.
No, that's not nice. I stop. I'll leave the car.
Okay.
Okay, and then let me check. Because I'm more or less restricted to running around. If I don't get help from other powers, I can run around. I can fight a bit, and I can use the harness.
Oh yes, the flight on your harness will get you there, so that you can do something.
Yeah. Sure. But if I do that, that always comes with the risk of burnout because the battery may give up.
Yes, but on the other hand, if you don't use the power, it's like it's burned out.
Yeah, okay. I can, yeah, okay, this is different from what I was thinking. Because I can try anyway, and it's only afterwards that it might burn out.
Right.
Okay, flight this time. Yeah, and then I'm making an attempt, with super senses or something. So the power is a 5, and here's another 5. So a 10 total.
All right. What are you trying to spot, see?
Oh, no, this was this was only for flying. I wanted to.
So then
fly
you
across
get
the
you can
grassy
fly
area.
along there. You will be interrupted by one of the horses, not the burning one, but the Twilight.
I was kind of trying to get close to one of the main characters.
Yes, well, of course, they are trying to keep you from getting close to one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So, but roll to see if you burn out. And
no, it's a 3.
Okay. And your dex is 5. So roll to dodge this flying horse that's trying to get you, trying to knock you off course.
Yeah. Is that the one with the skulls and flames?
No, the other one. The unicorn Berkeley one.
Okay, I rolled a 2, and yeah, that's 7.
Okay, and the filly has 2 and 5, so it just manages to hit you, graze you with a blast. Let's put it that. Let's say that. So that's for 3 stamina. After I divide it in half because it's moderate.
Yes. Okay. I should ask you something. Have we regenerated stamina after the last thing, or is that because I was at 7? So go on.
Yes. And I think you have regenerated half your lost stamina. So you've gotten 2 of them back. You're at 9. I would have given you all of. I gave you 2 back because you spent long enough talking about who had the better cartoons, and then getting here, but it didn't seem quite long enough to give you all of it.
Yeah, that's fine. So it was briefly 9, and now I was blasted.
Yes. So now it's 6.
Okay. I'm just putting that on my sheet.
Roll your strength versus standing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, it's moderate. You don't roll for moderate. Okay. That's good. That's the only effect. You managed to get near despite the fact that you've been blasted, you get not near enough to touch either of the main characters, but you're fairly close.
Holy moly. It's flying cartoon horses.
Jinx? What would you like to do?
I think that I could precog the car, guide the person to drive the car to get me to that scene without running people over? Left or here, right here, that kind of stuff.
No, you don't think you could?
Right. Then I will get out and I will start closing distance. That sounds like it's my round.
Okay.
Next.
All right. Next. people read mystical spells hoping to create a portal that will allow many, many more Talbos to go through. And artist, who I keep wanting to call warrior, but that is not your name.
Artist, yes. So at this point then, I am going to do a dance, and I am going to shred the paper that he is reading out off of. And so this time I pull from my back 2 swords, and I start just doing a just whirling dance, spinning and spinning and spinning, and I basically am trying to turn that piece of paper into confetti all into the air.
Can I use my luck control to basically give him bad luck as she's trying to shred it, that every time he tries to pull it away, he actually, he gets it closer to what she's swinging at it with?
That bounced on other dice.
I think you can certainly spend a point of your bad luck determination for that.
All right.
Okay.
Marking it off.
I only rolled a 2, so that's a 14. That's a 12.
Okay, and he, thanks to a certain amount of bad luck, rolls 1. Well, actually, that's not because of the bad luck that Jinx just gave him, but I lowered his regular vowers. Mm-hmm. Yes, you turn his paper into confetti. And it swirls around you in a gigantic, well, not gigantic, but for you it is almost as if you are among the high in the mountains watching the snow. So,
awesome confetti!
Yay! And you hear Seth does not say anything because he has something that he's busy saying instead. So.
Okay.
Mariner.
Oh. Right. I'll probably have to dust myself off slightly. Look around. Where did that flying horse go? And what's the confetti? Is that? Now. The confetti evidently was not an attack. Doesn't affect me.
Nope.
Right. Okay.
A big muscle-bound guy with a sword steps up to you. Be afraid, varmint, for I have fought all of the villains of Altena, Altinia, whatever it is, and always won. You are not even as strong as Lord Boneface.
I'm getting flashbacks to a cartoon show that Mariner might have watched a long time ago on afternoons after school when he was about 8 or 9. Maybe a little older, but he doesn't say that. Now, for the moment, what I'm trying to do, I'd like to create a maneuver or an advantage for one of my teammates. But I want to use my awareness for that. It's awareness, combined with my super sense sensors.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to find it, because if they are all cartoons, I'm just thinking, televised, it might be transmitted from somewhere. There might be something that's sending them, that's transmitting them, is there a connection there? Is there...
You want to maybe create some kind of an aspect that other people could use?
Yes. So if this works, Could we make it perhaps something to the effect of well, can we make it you know, this is a large horde, and the horde is positioned in a confusing fashion, so that they are not so sure where we are or what our powers are and what they should use first.
Okay. How about this? You wanted something with the business of them being sort of televised cartoons. What about you are going to use that handy piece of metal over there from that sign to extend He-Mensch's sword so that lightning is drawn toward it, and that will create something that everyone watching it will know is television static. So they will be less likely to be able to act.
Oh, good.
Okay, sure. That sounds like a coordination roll. No, it'll be a prowess roll. For you, like there's a difference. To get the sign in the right place.
Okay, I just went back to my character sheet. Coordination, you said?
Coordination or prowess. I would normally say whichever one is higher, but they're the same for you.
Yeah. And this time I'm not getting a bonus from determination.
Okay.
I was also going to try the leadership thing, but I'm saving that for next turn.
Okay.
I rolled a 3, so it's an 8 for you.
That's an 8 versus his. Don't drop the pen. The pen. Die. And coordination 5, 3.
Oh, please
he gets an 8 total. So it sounds like you managed to
connected this awkwardly to the tip of his sword.
All right, so it's in place.
Right.
He's got a sword antenna.
Yes, and it'll take a roll on a maneuver on your next turn or determination or something to activate that advantage. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
I'm now bio-breaking. Just don't worry, I'll be back.
Okay, I understand.
Don't be a Nick.
No.
Okay, Brandon, you're up.
Am I?
I think so.
Yep.
All right. I used my bad luck this round. Does that count as the action?
That's using a power, but you can move still.
I'm just going to get closer to the action. I more want to get over towards G.I. Gordon.
Okay, well, these guys with a gun for every occasion move up. One of them...
and I'm invisible. Force field running.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, they have no idea you're there. So, I mean, they could have a chance to spot you, I suppose.
And I swear, even though I look like I'm dancing, I have no music running because anything I hear, the audience would hear right now. So I'm just being weird.
Okay. The music in your head. Can you make an invisibility roll?
Sure, is that invisibility or...
Yeah, a D6 plus your invisibility versus they just rolled awareness and they kind of rolled well.
I only have a 6.
Tie. They have sort of a feeling
now,
where you are.
Stealth is giving me the bonus, I would add that to it.
Okay, so then they do not know where you are. Why did I say go ahead, take stealth, Brandon?
I don't know. Even GMs have bad decisions.
I know. Okay. That's fine. And where are we for time? Okay. Seth has managed to make his intellect roll. He remembers what was on the paper. So he continues to talk. Princess Sunshine, however, will... Yes, I think she will. The flaming horse with the skulls says something to you that sounds more like horse neighing, but you will bow before me. It comes across pretty clearly. And she is going to attempt to use her telekinesis magic against your whirling to hold you still. So we'll see if she hits. It's her willpower versus your... Actually, it just makes more sense for it to be coordination.
Sure.
So her coordination against your coordination, I guess.
Okay. And I do have something against anything trying to grapple me, so...
Yes, that's your spinning.
I rolled a 1. Welcome back, Norbert. I unfortunately rolled a 1 on my coordination, so that's a 7 before my bonuses from spinning.
Yes, your bonus from spinning is...
7 spinning is what I have.
Yep. So, she manages to hit you.
Okay.
And her 9, you have some resistance there. So she manages to subtract 2 of... You now have spinning 5.
Okay. I now have spinning 5.
And you have an extra determination point because she had to stunt nullify.
Okay.
I mean, in the story, it's, telekinesis. But
yep,
what you
I get that.
Nullify.
Cool.
Okay.
Which character did that?
That was Princess
Sunshine.
That was the big flames and skulls horse. The horse facing you is going to try just a simple little telekinetic whatever.
Not a real
so that's coordination again.
Coordinate, yes.
Versus your coordination. So would you roll your coordination to see if she manages to telekinetically grab you?
I'm rolling it on my brand new notebook here because it's a nice surface. Okay. 4 and 5 is 9 again.
You easily avoid the cloud of sparkles that she sent forth to you.
Those sparkles for the mariner, right?
Yes, those sparkles were for the mariner. Did not manage to get you. And you're invisible. Wardens don't know where you are, so they are going to fire on the 2 people they can see.
Okay. Fire away.
One hopes you're not in the way.
One hopes I could be in the way with my force field.
That's true.
I think that Brandon and I are more capable of tanking than Norbert is, since the truth.
That's
So
true.
by all
Okay.
means, with just moving, interposing between where their line of fire and their next likely target would be a great thing for me to do.
Since they're spread out into 3 little squads, you can pick the squad you're near and protect Norbert's
Are they
character.
just all the run of the mill GI Gordons, or do we have Earl, the leader of GI Gordons?
Of course, we have Earl, who is near you, and
because that's the squad I'm trying to get towards. So that's the one that I'd probably be interposing with.
Okay. You can interpose yourself between them and the Mariner, who they are fighting at. They are aiming at.
Okay.
Okay. And since you're purposely interposing, that won't be a problem. They managed to do that, and it is a blast 5.
That just gets eaten up on the force field.
Yay! So that's good. I think your force field is your force. You know from feeling it that say one squad of them concentrating fire on you would not be good. That might overcome it, but just you happening to be in the way and they don't know you're there, no sweat.
Okay.
Okay. That's all of them. Artist.
Artist will... Well, I will look at Princess Sunshine. 你是太阳公主，我是海边月亮公主。I say you are Princess Sunshine, but I am the moonlight. I'm the moonlight princess by the beach, and I am going to create. I'm going to do a dance, an ocean dance, a moonlight ocean dance, and I am going to whip out my. I'm going to whip my sash off, and I'm going to start creating waves of motion and using it as rope darts, and I am going to go beat her in the face.
Okay.
So, I am going to say that I have an active imagination, because I think that was appropriately active imagination that time. Unlike my newspaper thing, which I totally deserved my flub on. And I'm going to say that I am a famous dancer, because I really want to kick her butt after what she did, slowing me down. Because I can cite 2 different things, right? As I recall?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Okay. You can do up to 3 more if you can find other aspects.
Cool.
But, yeah, or other qualities.
I have a question. Can I be citing those onto my strength for the damage instead of the prowess, since I'm likely to hit already after the first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will use the first one on my prowess to hit, and I'll cite the other one on my strength. I guess I don't have to cite it on the strength yet, so I'll just use one on prowess.
If it's to
damage
the
her?
effect, it's only a +1.
Okay.
But if it's for a test, it's a +2.
Yeah. I won't bother with the effect on it then. But yeah, I'll just do cite once. I got a 10, 15, 17 to hit.
Versus her 10, I'd say that works.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's prowess.
That was a prowess check from me.
Oh, okay. So she got higher, but you still hit her, and she got 13 instead.
I do 6 damage with my base strength.
Okay. And you discover every place you hit, sparks fly off, and flames briefly erupt, but she seems unfazed.
Okay.
And
my
yeah.
bird reds and yellows now are midnight colors. I've got the basically a moon on my over on my shoulder, on my chest, on the sash, and I just basically look like midnight. And then the bottom of my dress now looks like waves of water washing up on the beach, and that's what I'm doing with my imagery, is overlaying that on my clothes.
Okay. All right. Mariner.
And I'll put a little crown on my head just so that I'm a proper princess.
Okay.
Okay. Who is closest to me? I mean, who of all these cartoon opponents?
He-Minch.
Mm-hmm. Right. And his sword is still attached to the
Yep.
signpost.
And if you do something clever, it can be a maneuver to create the static and follow through and follow through on that.
Good. Okay. And I wanted to do a stunt. I think I need a stunt, but I always have to activate something first.
Sure.
Right. I'm thinking if
what stunt do you want to do?
This big guy out, it will allow us to, get closer to the magician, to the Seth guy, but right now He-Minch is probably his big bodyguard. Now, would you allow me to get to the bottom of this? That we have to get to the main guy. Yep. Okay. So I use that for a stunt for my advantage, because I now want to try to what's the word, to redirect the energy that's creating my aura, to make it like a stream of energy from my upper body into his sword, into his sword handle, into the other metal, so we can get more of that static, a static shock.
Well,
Okay.
you got to be careful about saying static shock together. I mean, somebody might come after you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the evil Lawyeress Interruptus. Anyway, yes, of course. That sounds like the kind of thing you can do. Roll me coordination to manage to get the stream of energy to hit his.
Okay. My coordination is a 5, so it's not outstanding, but it's not bad. And let's see. Oh, 5. So 10 total.
Excellent. Versus his 7 total. You manage a major success. Certainly, you hit, and I'm going to say that all of the cartoon characters, except for Princess Sunshine, will go intangible, and they have no effect for the next panel. Right? You can't touch them, but they can't touch you.
Okay, so this has a visible effect and an advantage.
Yes, they all look like they're broken up by static. They flicker.
Mm-hmm. Just let me roll again, because I still have to check for burnout.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, it's a 1 this time. So for the remainder of this chapter, I get nothing from my harness anymore.
Okay, but they're still going to be insubstantial for the next panel. To the bottom of the next panel. All right, Cheeks.
I want to come up right near Earl, and in classic G.I. Gordon to the close of the show, I'm going to pop up, dropping invisibility, and I go, Earl, it's best you know the facts before you act. You are the true hero of America, sworn to defend truth, liberty, and apple pie. But right here, you're on American soil taking hostages. It's time you get straight in the head, kid.
Excellent.
And I'm going to try and basically convince him to break the spell, but continue to act as this Tulpa should, defending, the people that are here and helping to bring down the terrorist, organization known as Seth.
Excellent. It's going to be, we'll figure out what that stands for in a bit. Seth, the strategic extortionate. Anyway, okay, that sounds like it is an attempt to convince that. I think willpower. Roll will.
Okay, I want to go ahead. I am, in this case, definitely burdened by my foresight, for I have had to, in the future, and I am apologizing to my future self right now, watch a lot of cartoons.
In preparation for supervillains.
Yeah, so I have a 12 right there.
A 12 versus his 7. Sounds like he is not going to be able to reconcile his worship of Princess Sunshine against the various collective unconscious belief that he has to protect America. But he's insubstantial, so hard to know.
You can shoot other insubstantial things at that point, right?
Right. Okay. The only one of them, various other people shoot insubstantial things, and bullets pass through you, and all sorts of things. But Princess Sunshine can still act, and she is going to attempt to hit the artist. Would you roll me coordination, please?
Sure. There's another 1. I rolled a 1, so that makes it a 7.
All right.
Rolling a lot of 1s tonight and 2s. Then again on a D6, it's
She manages to hit you.
Okay.
And you only have 5 binding resistance, because of course she's already reduced it by 2. She manages to reduce it by 4 this time. You start to go very, very, very slowly. You can still spin. A normal human being couldn't do that, but
I'm at 1 spinning right now.
Yes. And they will start to go back up once the
scene is over.
Loses. Well, once she loses concentration or moves to something else, or the scene ends.
Okay.
By the way, Seth is the strategic and espionage tactical hive mind.
Of course. Now we know, and knowing is half the battle.
Best know the facts before you act.
Mariner.
Okay. I'll just do my quick looking around again with the help of my neural integrator things.
Right. They're starting to solidify again. The static effect is starting to go away. So it won't happen this phase, but...
Okay. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, I haven't used leadership yet. And I'm going to say over the comm to my wonderful teammates. Looks like they won't be desolidified for long. Look, we have to get this mumbo jumbo magician guy under control. He's bringing all these kiddie cartoons here, and they're going crazy. As long as we don't knock him out or get him to change his mind, it's one or the other. So just gonna pull together.
Okay. You are, while they're insubstantial, you can run right through them and get to him.
Mm-hmm.
You are close enough for that.
Good. Now, as far as I know, I can yet give 1 point of determination to,
Any
the
of your
artist.
teammates.
Yeah. So that they all get 1.
You have 1 to give to someone. You, if I recall correctly, you only have leadership +1.
Yeah, I've got 1 level of leadership.
Right.
Right.
Which is 1 determination point, as I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were saying
last
you
time
would.
I GM'd, I did that slightly differently, but okay. Now, for the moment, I'm running towards, what's his name again? Was he
Seth?
The great and powerful Seth.
Yeah. Okay, so can I run with stealth?
Sure. Try.
Very, very.
I mean,
clandestine. Okay. Okay, I'm using like the trees and the benches around the park, and the partially insubstantial cartoons, for cover.
Okay.
Okay. So the rest is coordination.
Once you get to him, it's just punching him. Stealth would be coordination. Yes, I'm not going to worry about that. I will have you roll when someone is trying to notice.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll remember that your base is 6, not 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you want to whack him, it would be prowess.
Okay. Could I try to like wrest the magical wand from his hand?
Sure.
Okay, still prowess. Haven't got wrestling or anything. It's just a plain old attribute.
Yeah.
Okay, I rolled a 3, so it's 8.
As your hand goes to touch the wand, his cape grabs you.
Mm-hmm. Yikes.
And starts wrapping around your arms like it's a, say, binding aura kind of thing. Roll coordination to try and avoid it.
A 1, so 6.
Okay, so you do not avoid it. You have a 1. No, that's just strength 5 entangle. So you essentially are in a strength 5 binding.
Mm-hmm.
From the cape wrapped around your arms. On the other hand, Seth is now exposed to other people from that force field cape.
He's busy doing that. Okay, got that.
Right. I mean, he's not. The cape seems to be an independent entity.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So you've got it there. Jinx?
So I'm going to point them at Seth, and I'm like, he's the representative of King Snake that's here. We need to get him, men. And then I'm gonna go invisible and start heading over that way.
Okay. Well, it's the start of their turn, and of course they all immediately shoot, and the bullets pass right through Seth, and through Princess Sunshine. But next panel.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Princess Sunshine, having slowed you down, is now going to attempt to hit you. Artist, so...
Okay.
Well, attempt. I know what...
I rolled a 5 on my die. So tell me what...
this is coordination.
Sure, so that's an 11.
All right, and she rolled a 1 on her die, so that's 5.
Oh, and I actually still have my swords out, so that's actually a 13.
She totally misses. It doesn't matter. You could have had wet noodles out, and she would still miss.
Attacking with wet noodles now. That's funny.
All right. They're almost solid, but they flicker into substantiality now that they've all used their action. All right. Artist first.
Okay. I am going to go and place myself in engagement mode with Seth, but I'm going to hold my actual power, my attack, until he becomes completely substantial again.
Seth never became insubstantial.
Oh, okay. I thought he did.
He's a person from our world.
Sure.
Yeah.
At this point, I am going to beat him up. I am going to whip my swords away and pull out 2 war fans, keeping them closed. I am going to do a flurry dance, bludgeoning him, and I am going to turn myself back into my vermilion bird. I am now a bird, and these fans are my wings underneath my sleeves, and I am just a whirling buzz of motion as my wings flap at him.
Okay, because he is the cape is trying to use the mariner to protect Seth. If by some chance you achieve only a moderate success or less,
okay.
You'll hit the mariner. But
okay.
On the other hand, I happen to know what Seth's prowess is, and you're not going to get a moderate success.
I've got a 13, and I didn't roll all that well.
He could roll the best he's ever rolled in his life and not get a 13.
Which is when he was DMing Dungeons and Dragons for his stuffed lizard and puppy dog.
Brandon,
Yep.
You need to do that correctly. You need to do it with the stories from the loop voice that you did for the character.
I thought that was that voice.
Nope, it wasn't. You need to be a little more nasally and talk about Thackle properly.
Well, he's not as young as that character was.
Oh, okay, there you go.
All right. It's strength damage 6. And the cape is busy. So the cape can either let go of the mariner and attempt to intercede.
Now, is the mariner's aura what burned out?
Yes, that's the same thing.
Gotcha.
It's, yeah.
It all comes from that. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know which powers were together in burnout.
Yep. So, okay. The mariner is unwrapped, and the force field tries. As the cape tries as hard as it can to soften the blows of the fans, but it is not nearly as much as one might hope. So But Seth is still acting. So, who knows? Mariner, you are free. The cave has let you go in an attempt to protect Seth.
Yes, very good, because that was a very unpleasant couple of seconds here. You're wrestling with this intelligent cape. Oh, right.
It's not that smart. It's never written in it. Anyway. Go on. What would you like to do?
Okay, could I just, I wanted to try lifting him off the ground,
Sure. You want to grab him and lift him up?
Yeah, lift him up. So, but I need prowess first. Without prowess, I'm not hitting anything.
No, but it's, close combat.
Right, yeah.
All right. And how much did you beat his 6?
By 3. I've got a 9.
Okay. So that's a major success. Yes, you certainly managed to lift him up. And he is still talking, having had his willpower enhanced by a certain wand. But he's still talking, which means the spell isn't done yet. So, what are you going to do with him? You've lifted him up.
Okay. What is the nearest? Okay. Are there any cartoon vehicles from those G.I. Gordon guys?
Oh, of course they have. They have jeeps and a howitzer, because life without a cartoon howitzer is just not worth living. Yes, there are a number of jeeps there, and this howitzer, which I've just invented. And,
okay. What was Artis doing again? Just before I got free?
She has hit him. She hit him with her wharf hands.
Bat, 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 bat. Bludgeoning him so that I am not actually killing him.
Okay. I just had an idea. Just tell me whether this is right for character. I'm holding on to him, like as in a bear hug almost, and then I say, he's still babbling. He's just talking so much. You have to stop him from talking. That's how he's making things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But you got a good enough grab that you can apply some of your strength damage there. So I will take away some of your strength, some of his stamina. All right. Jinx.
So I am going to go ahead and close, and I am going to try and see if I can get him to drop his wand as Norbert is swinging him around and Artist is violently bludgeoning him with fans.
Okay.
Anything that I can roll for that, or just mark off my bad luck?
You're doing it with bad luck?
Yep.
Let's see here. I think you have a choice. You can roll, and there is a chance that you will get the wand entirely from him, or you can just check off your bad luck, and I'll do like I did before, where he doesn't lose the wand, he just can't use it.
I will go ahead and check off my bad luck to try and get him to fumble it into his shower curtain as Norbert is tossing him about.
All right. Then his wand is tangled up in his hat as he gets the little pointy star at the end has gone into the hat and ripped it, and it's tangled together now. And he seems disconcerted by this. And he pauses. And you say, and you hear Princess Sunshine say, "Say the last 4 words. Say the last 4 words." And then uses her telekinesis to try and move the 3 of you away without affecting Seth. That's going to be tough, but what the heck? That's what terrible rolls are about.
Okay, I will roll. I rolled a 5 on my die. So tell me what stat I'm adding.
You are adding coordination.
Okay, I am at an 11 on that. 13 if my weapons count right now, if I'm, trying to basically parry it off on what I feel.
12, 11, just manages to nudge you. Norbert, what did
I'm
you
at
roll?
An 8.
An 8 total, or yes,
8 total.
You can't roll an 8. You get blasted aside, farther away, so you are unhappy.
Okay.
And Norbert?
Oh, I thought it was me.
Coordination. You have to roll coordination.
Coordination, right?
Yes, to avoid her little floating skulls.
I have a 9 total. 5 plus 4.
Okay. So they buffet you and cause you to lose your grip on Seth, who tumbles to the ground. You roll away, but you take no other damage from that. Seth has not said the 4 magic words, the last 4 words yet, because he is busy falling and hitting the ground. And Princess Sunshine just did her thing. Various cartoons are shot by various other cartoons who have been ordered by the general to shoot cartoons and protect the world. Also, America. Same thing. Okay. Artist.
Artist will, at this point, I would actually like to stunt one of my powers. I would like to stunt my imagery power. And as I recall, this guy has specific idols, right? That he was talking about 3 months ago of who he wanted to sign something and such like that. And I am going to stunt my imagery power so that I create. I'm going to pick up what would be around. I'm going to say somebody discarded a book nearby, and I'm going to pick up the book, and I'm going to imagery over it, stunting it to make it look like the 2 signatures he wanted on his fantasy number 15. See, I remembered, is actually there, and I say, they signed it for you. They signed it for you. I can't do an Asian accent. I'm sorry. 我可以讲中文，可是我不会。 I just can't. Okay. So, in an accent to Chinese, I say, they signed it for you. You don't have to do this anymore.
So you put that onto Fantasy 15, you said?
Fantasy 15, yes.
If you recall, I made a point of saying that he didn't have the money for it, but no, you didn't reprint. So, okay.
I got him the real one. I'm trying to make him believe that, I got him the real one signed, and he doesn't need to work, he doesn't need to do any of this anymore. And they want to meet you, but you have to stop this. So my image...
That sounds convincing to me. We'll let the other people go before he has an action.
Sure thing.
All right.
And I burned a determination for the stunt. But hopefully that'll shut him up, since our goal is to shut him up.
Mariner?
I was thinking, we've been fighting in the park for a while, and I'm now beginning to lose a little bit of my confidence and my overview, because I'm a man of the sea, and everything I see around here is like flying horses or flying creatures or land creatures, so I don't get to use my sea knowledge. So in short, I want to use that to give me determination back. So could I just miss this turn, or whatever the context is for trouble? I mean.
Oh, you want to give yourself trouble?
Yeah, I want to give myself trouble. Yeah.
You can take -2 on a skill roll. You can take -1 effect. You can do lost. There it is. There is not. You can just, find an excuse for you to lose some time. That's and I think that's what you're saying. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or you actually, I'm going to let you take the trouble that you, one shot this doesn't matter. In a campaign it would. But you are, this has all been so odd that in your heart, you know that you're going to have to leave the team now and go off to sea. It's time to go back. You've had enough of this weird land stuff. So
you're like, I'm done with you all.
And I crawl across the lawn, and I saw that coming. There's bits of sea shanties and visions of ships.
That's right.
Yeah.
As you're crawling across the lawn to get to Seth and just get him finished so that you can go back to your one true love, the sea. All right, and that is in lieu of a lock page, so you can act.
Mm-hmm. I can act.
Yes.
Okay. Now, close combat didn't work so well, and the other two might still be in a position to hit him.
I mean, there are throwable things around, too.
There are throwable things. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I want to find something out. I want to sneak to one of those G.I. Gordon cartoon jeeps, cartoon cars.
Of course.
And then I'm going to...
Here, look, they signed it for you. Car runs over him.
I do not
Thanks for the distraction, artist.
And they want to meet. And they want to meet you. They signed it for you, and they want to meet you.
sometimes this is kind of an anticlimactic comic. It's anyway. Yes, you have the Jeep.
I have the Jeep. Okay. So then I can use my driving skill.
Of course.
Okay. And I can combat drive this thing. There was another game that had like.
Norbert, with you driving, everything's combat.
Good. Okay. Coordination that I'm using for
that? Yes. Yes, okay. Coordination too. And you're going to run into a thing?
No, I wanted one with weapons attached to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you will need the giant howitzer vehicle.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. Was that picture? Okay. Yes, so I've got the correct vehicle. I'm behind the steering wheel. Okay, now this must have some buttons, some controls here.
Okay.
It depends on how active the artist was that day, but yes, there is a single switch with a label on it that changes as you look at it, because it is whatever switch they are supposed to have. Sometimes it's the ignition switch, sometimes it's the howitzer switch.
Okay, I need to go. I'll be right back.
We'd sort of need something else here.
It may
not
have
just
that.
A gun, yeah. I'm still a maritime man, and can I will something into existence here? Yeah? Because it would be nice to have this not just a vehicular gun, but sort of a harpoon howitzer, sort of a harpoon slinging thing.
It is a tulpa. It can be affected by the unconscious. Of course, you manage to. If you make me a willpower roll, to force your will onto the Jeep, onto the vehicle.
Yes, because then I can use willpower. Just before I roll the die, I'm going to spend a determination point to get an improved effort.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have 8 plus 6, 14.
14. That will give you 3. That creates the aspect or retcon, and gives you 3 activations on it for free. So it says harpoon launcher.
Yes, I want a harpoon launcher with a nice long cartoon rope, and if I can make good use of that, then the rope can wrap around things, and that's what I want to use next. Yeah,
it's there. Jinx.
Is the is the Princess Sparkle Pants or whatever it is she the only one, or is the one that teleported?
The one that teleported is the other one.
Yes, so is that one here right now?
Yes.
I haven't gotten knocked back. What the heck did Alice link? Oh my God! Please be chicken. I want to run over to her after having been knocked back, and the princess one is like, say the words, and I'm going to make a similar impassioned plea with her and look at her, and I'm like, don't you see? Princess Sunshine is not herself. She would never demand someone else say words for her. She would inspire them to these actions if it was truly her. I fear that something has taken control of her mind. The evil forces of Sadeleria have come for her. We need to free her by beating her into submission.
Excellent.
Is that another will?
That is another will. She has a quality that will be opposed to it, so she gets a little extra on her roll, but
I am floating at a 10.
She has an 11.
Okay.
So, instead, she looks at you angrily and she says, Princess Sunshine deserves you as a slave without a mouth, and disappears from view. Then, but since you're precognitive, you knew she was going to suddenly appear behind you and attempt to ram her little unicorn horn deep into your back.
She's a little horny.
Family show. Family show.
So is this coordination?
This is prowess.
Prowess, okay. That is a 6 plus 5, 11 on the dodge.
You easily dodge it and sidestep. She's a horse. I mean, she's really good at casting spells, but not so. And I can't believe I just said that about a horse.
She's a horse. You know, they're really good at casting spells. What is a horse to you?
Well, I think they sparkle, so, you know,
Wacky
clearly
Canadian.
I am mistaken. Okay. Princess Sunshine goes, say the words! And Seth goes, they signed it? And all of the cartoons vanish.
I
mean,
will...
there's a big visual special effect.
Yeah.
A whirlpool, kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where they all disappear into the toilet of life. But they all go into a whirlpool and then get sucked down into the ancient artifact. But it's over and you win.
Wow.
I will say the 4 words: lived happily ever after.
After. Dum 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 dum. And let's down on the story, but you can clear up and clean up whatever you want to.
And now we just have to deal with the fact that we lied to the psychopath, and it might happen again.
Well, you know, what the heck.
No villain is ever defeated. They're just delayed. Well,
Yes.
Thank you, John, for running so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, are we done?
You just missed it, Alice.
Oh,
They
I'm sorry.
just won.
Awesome.
Well, you won. Because he said they signed it instead of the 4 words that Princess Sunshine wanted him to say.
Yay!
And so I supplied the 4 words that, the last 4 words that needed to be said. Lived happily ever after.
Aw, yay! That's awesome. They signed it, did interrupt it. That's awesome. I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm really happy that that worked. Yay! Well, thank you so much,
Yay.
John, for GMing, and thank you all for watching. If you stuck around this long, thank you all. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Adios, all.